Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of GeoGuessr World League. I'm Toby, I'm joined by Siggy, and we are in for a treat as we are drawing so much closer to the grand finale of the World League. Siggy, how are you feeling today? Are you excited for the matches coming up?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm very excited for the matches. We have 3 weeks left to play. So for some players, every single game matters now. So it's going to be quite exciting, I think.
It really is. It really is. It's, again, it's always fun when you look at the beginning of a season and then go, oh, wow, we have 21 weeks. Everything can happen. And now, I will say everything has happened. I mean, top players have obviously stayed consistent throughout, but we are starting to see, and have been starting to see over the last couple of weeks, some of these players that have really risen with the weeks, so to speak, is starting to really fight for those top spots. It's getting really, really exciting. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of what is the leaderboard, the players and all that, for the new viewers out there, we know there's some of you, let's quickly go over how to play GeoGuessr. And to spice things up, you know what, Siggy, you take this one this time.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm not used to doing this segment, but basically the game of GeoGuessr is pretty easy, or the concept is pretty easy. You are being placed somewhere in the world that has Street View coverage. You can use the clues around. In some game modes you can move around, in some modes you cannot. Sometimes you just have an image. But given the clues, you make your guess. You play against an opponent, and the difference between the guesses is going to be dealt in damage, and the first to 0 HP loses.
Yep.
Pretty easy enough.
Is that easy? Get closer, get gooder, and just like that, you're going to be finding yourself victorious. And of course, with it being a professional league, we need professional rules for the players. So we're playing 3 different game modes. The first one is as restriction-free as can be. You get to move around, down and up the streets. You get to zoom in, zoom out, spin your camera around, do all those things to get as much info as you can. Then we move over to the semi-restricted game mode, where you can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can spin your camera around, but you're kind of locked in place. And then for the most restricted game mode, it is an NPC. You're not allowed to move, you're not allowed to pan your camera around, you're not allowed to zoom either. So effectively, it's just a still image that you get to look at, and hopefully you have enough info on there to figure out where in the world you are. Because if you don't, well, then you're in trouble, and there's a big chance your opponent does. And of course, there's a scoring system as well. All matches are played in best of 3s, meaning that if you win 2 games, you have won the series. And should you win 2-0, as you can see on the right-hand side, then you will net yourself 3 points. The opponent gets none. But if it becomes a 2-1, then the winner gets 2 points and the loser gets 1. So even though it sucks to lose, over the course of 21 weeks, it's much better to have had some of those 2-1 losses than big old 2-0s. Because here you can see the leaderboard and how things have panned on out. And so far, it's looking pretty spicy in that mid pack. I'm seeing a lot of 50s on the board here, Siggy.
Yeah, it's getting very, very close in the middle. And, you know, on this leaderboard, it doesn't seem that easy to spot, you know, where the fights are happening between players qualifying for the regional majors. But if we go to the other leaderboard, we definitely will see.
Siggy is forcing the production to do what he wants them to do now. I like it already. I like it.
Because, you know, I want to talk about this a bit more,
yes,
especially because we do have a lot of players that are at risk playing today. I will start off with EMEA, where we basically see, you know, a lot happening between Malfunction, Marder, Clement. I think Shrefan is kind of out of it because Shrefan has a lot less games played and Shrefan has been playing phenomenally, but Malfunction has been on the rise and up and coming, and she is playing the first match today, so it's going to be interesting. Meanwhile, in Americas, there's still a bit of an 1v1 going on, or maybe 1v2 between Ocean Man, Orlando, and maybe Gingy. But Orlando has a pretty tough schedule coming up, so it's still possible for Ocean Man. It's not going to be easy, but he has to lock in. And
definitely tricky.
Ending off in the APAC region, we do see Kent is the closest, but if you look at the games played, which we don't see right now, then we know Kent doesn't have a lot of games left anymore. Meanwhile, Kirania still has a lot of games that he can play. Meanwhile, Spaghetti on the other side also has a lot of games played. So basically, Kirania could still overtake Spaghetti. I feel like that's the most reasonable outcome that is still possible. Otherwise, I feel like it's pretty much set because Eamon also still has a lot of games left. So I think he's also going to be safe. But you see, a lot is still possible. And a lot of those mentioned players are playing today.
Definitely. You would want to stick around for every Sunday possible over the next 3 weeks because it's getting close. And here is the schedule for today. And you mentioned Malfunction. Well, good thing for us is we get to see her play right off the get-go. And up against Sheena, an opponent who we last week saw play some incredible GeoGuessr. We figured out that as long as he has train tracks, he will 5k absolutely everything. So hopefully for Malfunction, there's going to be no train tracks in sight for the first matchup for us here today. But then, of course, down the line, we get even more interesting matches. I know a lot of fans of Lenley are in chat. We're going to get him playing twice today. First against Anu, then against Sheena. So he's taking on 2 Japanese players. Then, I mean, for me, Mada versus Sixac, Mada Ammani, and then Kratzo Eamon. Some good matches coming your way.
Yeah, especially also Trisha Lero is also a very high quality matchup. Both kind of on the rise.
Yeah.
I think Lero is slightly higher rated right now, but Trisha has also been playing very well. We did see Trisha losing that very interesting game against Ocean Man. I think it was not on the mainstream, but if you have any time in between the games, look at the game from Trisha versus Ocean Man. It's probably one of the most funny endings to a GeoGuessr game I've ever seen, so yeah, maybe do that.
We get some good ones. We get some good ones every now and again. But yeah, this is what we're bringing you today. Of course, later tonight, there's going to be even more GeoGuessr. So if there are players that you didn't see on screen here, we're like, oh, wait, why aren't these guys? Are they not even part of the tournament? Yes, they are. Don't worry. We're streaming twice in a single day, every single Sunday. And we've been doing that for the last 18 weeks. And well, now there's only a couple of them left because then we're headed into the regional majors, then we're headed into the World Championship finals, and it's only going to get bigger from there on. But, as you can hear, music has changed. Usually that means one thing and one thing only. We are about to get into game. So, without further ado, Siggy, I think it's only appropriate that you, as the professional among the two of us, the one with all the insider knowledge, talk to me, talk to chat about Malfunction and Sheena.
Well, you did say Sheena has been playing very well recently, and I have to agree. Recently, Sheena has been playing phenomenally. We do know Sheena tends to make some type of mistakes, blunders sometimes, but in the last few weeks, I didn't really see any mistakes from him. On the other hand, Malfunction has also been playing very well. Basically started off towards the bottom of the leaderboard and has been working her way up and up the leaderboard, and we already see she's in 20th place, but she is not even qualified for the EMEA regionals right now, because EMEA is the toughest region out of all the regions. The cutoff is very, very high. See, even with 50% win rate, you're not guaranteed to get in, but anything is possible.
It is incredibly tough, and we get right into it, right into match number 1, game number 1. It is moving, and both these two, I'd say, correct me if you think I'm wrong, are incredibly good when it comes to moving. So we'll see who's going to come up victorious here in the first game.
Yeah, both are very good at moving. Malfunction especially very well versed in 5K'ing, which is, you know, an underrated skill in the World League, it has to be said. But Sheena on the other side also knows how to find information, use information, and that's pretty much all you need for this duels format, is finding information and using it.
True. Both players like to take their times and trying to figure out where they are. Malfunction didn't need to move too far to get a guess down. We'll see now. I mean, Sheena is effectively on the exact same street. Imagine that we start off the day with a 10k. He has train tracks on the side. We might not see them on screen, but we know what that does for Sheena's guessing. And it does exactly this. As close as can be. 20 damage done here in round number 1.
Yeah, both finding a very small place name there. And given the sparse coverage in that region, they both knew the road. And yeah, pretty easy find. And we go off into what seems like a Germany round, which I quite like to see.
So, as the German representative, I feel like it's only fair that you 5k this round. Where are we? Talk to us, Siggy.
I have no idea, you know. Maybe if they have a sign, I can Google it real quick and then act like I knew where it was.
Whoa.
There it is,
Google is bannable. You can't
Rostock,
Google
very
things.
big town. And
that's where you sail.
Knows.
That's where you sail from Denmark. I knew that city.
But Sheena also gets to it. Großwokern. Never heard of that. But it has to be somewhere near it.
Yeah. I mean, you got enough time to try and pinpoint it, and it's going to be a bit further down towards the south. But when you have Rostock there, that's all you need to go for. And first, Malfunction takes 20 damage, then Sheena takes 21. So if this is the pace of which we're dishing out damage today, then both these guys are going to be set at 5,800 when this round is over.
Yeah, I don't think that will happen, because you know, in some rounds they may not move in the same directions. We just saw that they basically moved in the same direction in both rounds, finding the same type of information. That's kind of interesting to me, because it really shows that these players know where to look for info, and is very underrated. But this time we do see Sheena moving in the right direction, and he did spot Brandvalley, which is very big, and he already found it.
Always tricky when you have long, straight roads, and right off the bat, you can't really see anything in either direction, and then one person goes 2 clicks down one direction, gets crazy info. The other person can go for miles on end without finding anything at all, and it looks like that's Malfunction's case right now. You have one sign, but oh, there you go. Able to get the same one as well. There's enough info to go by, though. Only 10 seconds left to work with.
Yeah, and that could have been way more damage for Sheena if he decided to insta-send after finding information, because right now he's only looking for the 5k. So... But he wants to make sure to make a good guess, but it didn't pay off.
Even more so, he actually ended up losing the round. I think, as you said, I mean, as soon as he saw the sign and had a good inkling of where he was, had he just opted to guess immediately, which, you know, Sheena usually doesn't do, had he opted to guess immediately, Malfunction might have been in much more trouble.
Yeah, and now we see an instant zoom in from Malfunction, maybe nose to road, because we do see some water on the camera. I imagine it is pretty far south. I quite like Sheena's guess. But they're both in the same region, so we shouldn't see too much damage.
Well, we'll see. Sheena letting the time run out here. Will be the one closer. He was hovering further northwest. I guess as he committed, would have been a bit more damage. But once again, these two players both incredibly close to the target. As we head into the next round, neither of them sat below 5,700 yet.
Yeah, pretty nice switch up off pace there by Malfunction. Just instantly slamming it down, because she knew, okay, I know the road, maybe Sheena doesn't, and there shouldn't be any information available, but Sheena also knew, so... And we do have this very nice pavement, and for any Indonesia enjoyers, that pavement is found near the city of Surabaya. It is pretty reliable, but it can sometimes be found in different cities, such as Makassar.
Let's see if Sheena is gonna get it. We are memeing, of course, a bit, but it really was true. I mean, last week, I think he had 5 or 6 train track rounds and 5k 3 or 4 of them. So maybe there's a thing to it. Maybe it's gonna help him out as Malfunction now gets good info as well. Down towards Surabaya, as you were saying, Siggy. But neither of them really fully commit zooming in here to look for train track specific routes and whatnot. Sheena is looking further towards the west now as well. What is he seeing?
I don't know, maybe he found a name that he thought he has heard of before, but I think he's just staying there because of the pavement. It is just downtown Surabaya, so the meta definitely holds up here.
And he was there initially, that's why you see his reaction going, oh man, come on, I knew better. He was there, second-guessed himself out of the position, and that's something we've seen happen a lot. Not specifically to Sheena, but just in general in these competitive games, is that whenever you think for too long, you start... I mean, sometimes, don't get me wrong, sometimes it can get you over into the good position too, but sometimes it can definitely get you in trouble as we go to, I believe, Brazil?
Yeah, very nice, Toby. We're in Brazil, and we do see opposite directions, and we have a very good sign for Malfunction there. 2 place names, but she is deciding, you know what, it's a roundabout, so every entrance will have a sign. So she will scan every single entrance for town names she might know.
And chat, for those of you guys who don't know that this is Brazil, one of the easy signs that usually works is that on the back of all the street signs, or road signs, it's black. That was what I was mainly guessing off of, and it worked.
And there she found a very good sign. She found a sign for BR262, and she already found it. So
good stuff.
Should see a very good guess here, but Sheena not too far off without any information given. Not the worst guess.
3.5 times multipliers. Could hurt if you're off by just a bit.
Oh, very big switch from Sheena. That might be game.
Yep. Could very well be. Almost the 5k on the side of Malfunction, and that is, in fact, gonna be game. Sheena was up there, but yet again, back-to-back rounds, second-guessing his position. And that's gonna hurt. Hurt too much for him to reset. So now, 1-0 to Malfunction.
Yeah, we did see those last-second switches last week as well from Sheena, but it did pay off. We saw that big switch from Australia to Chile in the very last second, and it worked. But this time, big switch from him. I think he would have stayed alive. He would have lost like 3k points maybe. But yeah, last second switch, decided, you know what, I didn't find anything. I'll just go very far south. But he has to reset now. New game, new chances.
And no move, of course, to be mentioned for the viewers that go, why don't they just go down the street? Well, they can't. They are glued on the spot. They can turn, I guess they're glued on one of those gym thingies that you can spin around on, but not really go anywhere. So that's what's happening. They're in location. They can turn around. They can zoom in and out, but nowhere for them to go. What are you thinking here? Are you liking this this mech's guess?
Yeah, I quite like Sheena's guess, and we do see Malfunction in a very similar area. But
Ooh.
cheeky Chiapas round there towards the border to Guatemala. Not easy to get. But, you know, slow start. Don't want to start off with losing 1k points. As we go into this, I feel like it is Netherlands, judging by the sign. Also the architecture.
For a very
fits.
short moment, I was thinking Denmark, but I was like, nah.
Nah, the houses are too nice.
The font is too big on the 75-meter sign, so...
The houses are too nice. I don't see any bad beers.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. We haven't even gotten to
Denmark.
that ad yet. You can't talk
True.
about our beers like that.
Wouldn't call it beer, personally, but...
Wow. Siggy. We okay, you know what?
He's taking the bait, I'm reeling him in. And wait, we see Sheena in Germany.
Sheena's, I respect the Denmark zoom. Always nice to see Denmark in the text. I'm a little worried for Sheena's guess, though. We'll see if it's going to be right or wrong. So Malfunction does, in fact, go to her home country, Netherlands.
Whoa, she's going towards the islands.
Maybe she knows. Maybe she knows.
Ooh.
Well, guess she didn't. Sheena off again. I mean, still a little shook up, I feel like, after that Brazil round. Or maybe the one even before that. He's had 4 rounds in a row now where he's been off by a bit.
Yeah, this time definitely some very gettable meta there with the sign. You wouldn't get that in Germany. Well, maybe I'm biased because I definitely know how German signs look like. But he is lucky that he only lost 1,000 points and not more, because Malfunction went so far north and it was so far south. But new round. We are in Kazakhstan. We do have to pick up.
I just gotta correct myself real quick. I said the Malfunction was from Netherlands. I got baited by the flag. She's definitely from Luxembourg.
Oh no, I didn't even hear that.
She's definitely from
no.
Luxembourg. Sorry, Malfunction. I hope you didn't realize.
You are lucky that I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it's true. It's
You
true.
are very lucky, sir. Anyways, both kind of in the eastern parts here does fit, because the only part of Kazakhstan where you get autumn coverage is in the east. Some central areas too, but mostly east.
I'm happy that the entirety of chat can correct me in those sort of things. Chat can then also tell countries not to have flags that look so much alike. That is really convenient. As we now get in to the end here of round number 3, Malfunction off this time around, and Sheena finally, for him, able to capitalize. This is actually the perfect scenario for him. Not only does he finally get a good guess in, but he times it really well with Malfunction being off by a bit.
Yeah, as I said, Malfunction went east. It was just central. Maybe the hills were a bit of a clue there, because usually the east is pretty flat. As we go into a South Africa round, should be fairly easy, just outside Joburg, I would say. Wouldn't see any guesses too far away from that.
Well, Malfunction a bit down towards the south, Sheena a bit further north, but 100 kilometers separating two won't amount to too much, but of course with the multiplier stacking, it's only gonna start hurting more, so a good little swing back for Malfunction after that big hit in the previous round.
Yeah, evening the game out a bit as we get around with long dashed lines. Well, the question now is it Norway? Because you do get them from time to time in Slovenia, but I think the vegetation screams Norway to me.
Well, seems like both these players are in agreement. Sheena's a bit further towards the north. Malfunction staying down at what I like to call the tiger's head, because it does look like a tiger-ish, I guess, if you think so. As the 2,000 damage does come through, Sheena off by a bit. Again, still, I mean, Sheena usually is very, very calm in his playstyle, but right now there's a lot of, like, physical reaction to whenever rounds don't go his way.
Yeah, because it also has to be mentioned, he's on 13th place right now, and to qualify for the World Cup, you have to be on the top 12. So he's right outside that qualification zone. And going into the majors, you don't want to have too much pressure that you have to get points by getting second or third place. So any win would be good for him, so maybe that's why he's a bit, bit nervous here, especially after the game 1. But we have the rock walls. Pretty easy Connecticut, Massachusetts area.
It's right in the middle.
It ends up being Rhode Island.
There you go. Right on the border But Malfunction closer once again. It's kind of sad. I cannot think of Massachusetts without thinking of the Ylvis song. Which is also a really good song, by the way. If you haven't heard it, go over give it a listen. It's fun. It's a good time. As we get into round number 7. Malfunction able to regain the lead here. Sheena playing with his back against the wall.
Here we do have these signs, which should be found in Hamilton, in New Zealand. Obviously, very niche knowledge there. We do see a capital name and then a very small street, ST, in the bottom right. That's usually found in Hamilton and surrounding cities. We do see Sheena very close to Hamilton, so that would be a very good guess. This is not Christchurch signs. Even though the city is flat, we could see the game here.
Would definitely be for Sheena. That would be huge.
Very,
Gets the guess in.
good.
Malfunction is still hovering. Has 10 seconds to second guess herself, but right now it seems like she's confidently looking in this city. 3, 2, zooms out in the very end of it. No change come through, and finally, Sheena able to capitalize, and that will most definitely be game here as we're taken into an NPC.
And that's why you learn New Zealand signs, ladies and gentlemen. It is very niche, but it can be very helpful, especially because urban New Zealand is not region guessable because it all has been settled at the same time. So there's not really a difference in architecture anywhere.
Tough one from a function that was starting to look really good, and that no movement would have definitely wanted the 3 points. But now, only the 2 is going to be available. So we'll see here. Still image.
Ooh.
Trying to change up the pace now. I like this from Malfunction. Let's see if she gets close. I thought Sheena for a second was going to go Denmark. I was like, bro, that's a mountain. We don't have those.
Yeah, not Denmark. It's either Sweden or Norway. It's one of the two. Might be on the border even.
There you go. Into Norway we go. I like that Malfunction changing up the pace here. Of course, Sheena, a player that likes to take his time. And they have both been, I mean, for the most part, taking their time in this matchup so far. So smart on her to try and catch him a bit off guard.
Yeah. And wow, she is just slamming it down here. It seems like Germany or Austria to me.
What makes you go there?
The road.
The road lines? Like the white very...
No, just no road lines at all. You get that a lot in German roads.
Fair enough. Well, I guess you're right. All the way down towards the Austrian border is where we were. But again, smart on Malfunction to try and change the pace here.
And now they will take a bit more time because we are in Brazil, and Brazil is a massive country. But we do see them both in Maranhão so far. Not sure what they see, but it definitely worked, and what a guess.
Incredible guess comes through as the scores get almost even up now with Malfunction. A bit in the lead, but keep in mind, I mean, NMPC can really be games where when you get limited to no info, you get people on various continents even. As Sheena goes Nigeria, Malfunction immediately there to follow. The usual Abuja-Lagos split. We'll see who's gonna come out victorious here.
Yeah, interesting landscape here. Definitely feels a bit more eastern or northern. So I quite like Abuja as a guess.
So Malfunction is gonna readjust as well. It was.
Or not.
A little bit further towards the west.
That is big points.
Yep, definitely is. Malfunction, Malfunction, Multiply is only gonna make it harder as we move into round number 5. Oh, Sheena. He lost in this country, his home country, because it's not Netherlands or Luxembourg. It is, in fact, Japan. He lost here last time we saw him play. Let's see if we can get it this time around.
And for some reason, they're both in the same prefecture, and they're both right. I have no idea how they did that, but yeah,
that's why they play and recast. That's because they can do stuff like that.
Anyone saying GeoGuessr World League, I would not get that and will just lose on the spot. And we are back in New Zealand. And this seems like Northland.
Well, let's see. Malfunction. It's going to go towards Mount Richmond Forest Park. A little further south, potentially, thereof.
Ooh, she's thinking
about...
You see
something?
St. Arnold. Oh. I didn't think there. I mean, there are some weird parts in that area, so it's a valid guess. But Sheena. I was thinking Northland, so north of Auckland even.
Sheena is down here as well. Now looking towards Auckland. Zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. Not quite sure. wants to commit towards the coast. Goes up a bit by the second, but it was all the way up there. That could have been huge. That could have been game for either one of them as the laugh emotes come through. The rare no waving emote, but there we have it. Both realizing, oh wow, that was off by quite a margin.
Yeah, I mean, not an easy round, because usually if you've seen green hills, you usually just go that area. But I have no time to talk about this because we see Sheena zooming into Ukraine for Romania. It should be Romania. And both of them going east because it's dry.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Already guessing in on the north side of Constantino. Let's see if who's going to be closer. Oh, wow! Wait, what made sense? Can you elaborate on that, please? Again?
Never mind, skies are trash. Who would go east there just because it's dry? That's
obviously go west, bro. Obviously go west. It's obviously west.
Would have 5K'd that one real quick.
I love how you've had one round now where you're way off. Then you have one round where you best both of them, and then you're off again. It's we jump back and forth, so now you're gonna be on point. What are we seeing here, Ziggy?
We do see Philippines round, and region guessing Philippines is impossible. We do see a banana plant, which is more common in the middle. But the rest looks northern, because it's very dry. So Sheena's guess is valid as well.
Let's see who's gonna be on point. Well, it's gonna be middle. And that could very well be game. It will, in fact, be. And there you have it, Malfunction out victorious against a Sheena who I feel like got a little spooked, maybe, in the moving game and in the first round of no move, and he never really was able to regain his footing properly outside of the one guess in New Zealand that was arguably equally much of the mistake made on Malfunction.
It was not really a mistake, very niche meta. She just thought of a very flat city, so Christchurch actually makes a lot of sense. Just, you know, easier to say for me than anyone else. But obviously, in general, I think Malfunction still has played very well, especially moving. Yeah. And in NMPZ, I really like the switch of pace, just slamming it down round after round, and it paid off.
Well, that's gonna be the first match done for. We are going to see Sheena again later taking on Lenley in one of the final matches of our stream here today. So if you want to see more Sheena action, that's gonna take place at around 2 o'clock. But now we're gonna go into match number 2 of the day. It's gonna be Kirania versus Swan Gambit. Now, Swan Gambit is playing a bit from behind, but Kirania has everything to lose here by not getting as many points as possible. Needs to, well, effectively win everything if he wants to make sure that he qualifies.
Yeah, and I think Swan Gambit is one of those opponents where Kirania has to get those points in, because we do see Swan Gambit, one of the most low-rated player that Kirania is still playing, so getting those 3 points would be vital for him to keep the dream alive of passing somebody like Spaghetti.
Definitely. Definitely. Let's see. Stats very, very even. Better accuracy on the side of Kirania. Better win rate, of course, as well, with him being set ahead. But outside of that, I mean, I do feel like this match can go both ways. We've seen some very, very good moments from Swan Gambit. Of course, I mean, little on the fact that he's playing the World League. Yeah. Showed that he's a very high caliber player.
And he beat RC, so
yeah.
Not an easy feat to do, quite honest, because I don't think I've ever won against RC. So he has that going for him. But we do start off in moving. And an instant sign for Swan Gambit.
Started things off by Reston Mill. If you know where that is, you could 5K. If you don't, it might be a little bit tougher. But a lot of info for Kirania available. Swan Gambit has an intersection up there. Hasn't quite committed to going there just yet, but now he is here as well. It's a different intersection, but very equal in terms of the info that they have available.
Yeah, Kirania's map froze there for a second because I'm like, why is he not doing anything? But now he is. They do have a road number and they are ordered in the UK, and we do see Kirania finding the right road. And, you know, might get that sweet 5K, not an easy lineup.
Do you have the road leading off the side? I think he might have it there. No, just off the other side. But close nonetheless, as a grand total of a jaw-dropping single point comes through. Then Sigi went completely mute, so I'm just going to talk instead. Okay, fair enough. As the first guess comes through in Poland, Kirania trying to put the pace up high in this round. Usually a player that takes a little bit more time in guessing, but this time around feeling comfortable early on. Don't want to give Swan Gambit too much time, and it is going to be hard up towards the north. So even when he tries to put pressure on, Swan Gambit is not there to be pushed around.
Yeah, sorry, I was just reading a chat message that said I called Swan Gambit free point. I said free, the number. So I wasn't saying that he's 3 points. There's a potential Kirania earns 3 points.
There is, definitely.
As we see, Swan Gambit is on the flawless right now, already up 1k points, but he did get a Poland round, so that makes sense. But we are in Brazil now, both trying to find that area code, but Swan Gambit just guesses without it. We'll see if that turns out good or not.
I like the reverse of, first it's Kirania that tries to put pressure on time-wise, and now Swan Gambit tries to do the same thing. A lot of distance in between the two. It is going to be further down towards the south. 400 kilometers in between him, and 2,000 health will be ripped off of Kirania. Should we call it health or points? I'm always confused.
It's health points. It's HP, health points.
I guess health points, yeah. It's the meme with the little girl. Why not both? I guess we do both. There you go.
I personally never say health points. I either say HP or health.
There you go. I just always say points, and then I say health, and then I never think about saying health points. That makes so much sense.
See, this guy is definitely not 3 points because he is on something.
Here I was talking about HP when all I had to look at was Swan Gambit getting the first 5k of this matchup. Great performance. Getting a quick guess in there as we now go out into the open wastelands.
Yeah, we are in the US and we do see a Nevada bollard here. They didn't really take a good look at it, but I think they will both know it. We do see Kirania scanning there as well now, but Swan Gambit is not giving him any time to scan, really. Already plonked down.
North side. Nevada is where that guess is going to come through, but it was going to be further down towards the south. And yet again, big hit from Swan Gambit. Multipliers, of course, helping out a bit, but maintaining his flawless through round 5.
And I gotta respect it because Swan Gambit, I think mathematically, is already out of the contention of qualifying. But, he can still beat other players who are trying.
Yeah.
So,
and
he's
again,
also...
Oh, sorry, continue.
I was also saying he's also in for some money because every win yields money for the players. So there is always something to play for, so people don't start throwing.
And even if you don't, I had a really good talk with Yannick about this subject. If you can hop over to my YouTube channel and watch the whole conversation.
Nice little self-plug.
Little promo there if anyone in the chat. Twitch Prime. No, but I had a really good chat with him. He was talking about this exact subject, about how it feels bad to take points away from other teams when you potentially can't really make a lot of it yourself. But I said to him, and I will say this to everyone, make as much of it as you can. Doesn't matter if it's the first match of the tournament or the last. Play to the best of your ability, because this is the best practice you're going to get for tournaments to come. So for Swan Gambit, there should be absolutely no reason for him not to try. Even if there's no money on the line, there should be no reason for him not to try and go out and win this whole thing.
Yeah, should be Yucatan here. Don't think we'll see a lot of points. Yep. And it also has to be said that it also makes the league more fair if everyone tries until the end, because if you played Swan Gambit earlier, he might have tried, and if you play him later, if he wouldn't try, it would be unfair. So I quite like to see everyone trying until the end to, of course, yield the best and most fair result as we go into another South Africa.
Ooh,
and we see an insta-guess.
Flick there from Swan Gambit, initially in the middle, then jumps over in between Eswatini and Lesotho, as Kirania now they're effectively in the exact same spot.
Yeah, I mean, they're very close to each other. But Swan Gambit, I mean, he's putting on a show.
Yep, I mean, he barely even zoomed into the continent before guessing. So impressive that he ended up being closer on that one, considering how much Kirania was micro-adjusting there. But still, flawless throughout, as we head into round number 8.
We're back in the UK. We did see the first round in the UK, so will we see the last round in the UK? It's possible. Swan Gambit could win here.
Oh, that's a university sign. What did they say on the wall there? Despero? I did not read the full name. Well, there was definitely something that looked like a looked like a city sign more so, but of course even that ain't necessarily crucial info given how many cities you have over on this side of the country.
Ooh, I think Kirania has a town name, but I couldn't really read it. It started with a W. But it seems like he can't find it. And now he has to make something happen, because if he isn't closer, it might be the end of the game. But I think they're close-ish, but now he's switching more north.
They're both on the same highway now. Swan Gambit jumping towards the east now as well, but it's going to be further towards the south. Swan Gambit maintains his flawless, but can't quite take him out. 66 health for Kirania, looking to pull probably the upset of his career if he can turn this one around. He has 2 rounds to do it, but with the multipliers, one good guess could get him there.
It is very tough to beat the multi-merchant that was in the game between Trisha and Ocean Man, but we've seen insta-guess by Kirania.
When in doubt.
This time he has to be closer, otherwise it's over.
Yep, you'd have to think so. He's gonna be!
Wait!
300!
That's 5.
Oh, it's a big swing! And now for round 10, you can see on Swan Gambit's face, he literally needs to be 1 meter closer, and that's potentially 66 damage. And we get a roundabout.
Ooh, big country. We do say USA on the bin. So
Yeah.
we're definitely in the USA. No question.
Wow.
But where exactly are we?
Chad, who are we rooting for? Do we want to see Swan Gambit bring it home? Or are we on Team Kirania here? I'll leave that up to you to decide, as both of them needs all the praise and all the hype that you can possibly bring them here in round number 10.
Yeah, both of them trying to look at the oncoming cars and see their plates, because plates are quite helpful.
South 116.
Yeah, we did see a sign there that could be helpful.
Oh, there's quite a lot of info in this roundabout, but Swan Gambit is opted to go the other way. Oh,
yes.
Massachusetts, hovered by Kirania, looking towards Maine as well. 10 seconds to go, and Swan Gambit has not even opened the map yet.
Yeah, we do see the 116.
He's East Coast also.
Both in Massachusetts, but we see the switch from Kirania to Maine.
This is gonna be huge. It's gonna be game regardless, and it's gonna be Swan Gambit able to bring it home, overdoing the damage by quite the margin with 66 with all he needs to hit. But we can look at Swan Gambit there as well, going palm sweaty, mom spaghetti. That was a scary one for a second.
That was very scary, especially if he goes a bit further north in the Mexico round. The game is just over in one single round. 6,000 health to 66. You know?
Yep. What a round. And honestly, I mean, if you disregard round 9, that was 9 out of 10 rounds of flawless for Swan Gambit. So incredibly well played by him. But having said that, for Kirania to stay in the race all the way through to round 10 when he didn't win a single of those 9, also incredibly well done.
Yeah. And we are back, you know, to a slower pace. We have round 1. Not a lot on the line. I think both will go east here. Minas or Espirito Santo. No big points.
No big
pressure.
points.
No pressure.
You say that, but 66, if that's the difference, then that is pretty big points, because that's what allowed Kirania to get into the final round in that previous game. So 400, still, while it doesn't matter too much right now, could have massive impacts later down the line.
And it appears we are back. We are back in Brazil. Now the question is where we this time. We do have acai palms, which are very common in Belém, but also in the entire Amazonas. Okay. Kirania Zoom worried me there for a second, but he ends up in the same region, both in Belém. It is the most common spot where you get these palms. So both just going for that one.
Just across the water. Would have been better off, but still, incredible guess given the limited info that they had to work with. So, tying scores up to some extent here through round 2, coming into round number 3.
And round number 3 is not Brazil this time. We are in Thailand. We do see the Thai language there. And we're also driving left. 087 is not an area code, that's a mobile one. We do have these palms, which are most common in the south. But does it look south?
How high up the priority list is Thai area codes?
Pretty high, because Thailand.
So the pros all know them?
Yes.
Okay.
I hope so.
I hope so. It's one of those you should know it. Well, in this case, there wasn't really a good area code up for grabs, which throws them off by quite the margin. 1,000 kilometers off for Swan Gambit in this one as he went down towards Malaysia and pays the price.
Yeah, Thailand definitely a very hard country to figure out because you can't really brute force it as well because the coverage is so dense that you can't really learn anything about it. It's very hard to learn individual roads. As we see Kirania in Sri Lanka here. I didn't see the front of the car, might have been the Sri Lanka blur. But looking at it, it doesn't feel like it.
Well,
It looks more like Colombia or something, but maybe I'm not seeing the blur correctly.
What are you thinking, chat? Let us know. What's your guess on this one?
Well, both
When
in
chat's
three,
saying
so I
it's
guess
tricky,
that-
they both commit. And they're both gonna be right. So good on them to stick to their guts, not be dissuaded by Siki trying to send them to other continents. But,
I was just trying to see if somebody listens to the stream.
yes, it was all baits. It was all baits, and no one fell for it. So there we go.
Obviously.
Maybe somebody in chat fell for it. We'll see. As we head into round number 5.
Yeah, this time I'm quite confident though that it is Colo. I was just foreshadowing the next round.
Ah, yes, of course.
This time we do have the yellow and black paint on that pole, so should be both in Colombia.
Indeed, we are a bit further down towards the south. Would have been on the money, but still close to both of them. But of course, multipliers now coming into round 5 here. It's gonna start showing its effects, somewhat tying up the scores now with just 600 points separating the two.
And we do take a quick tour to Japan again, and we see an
Ooh.
instant guess. We do see a pretty long plate there at the top, so I quite like Hokkaido as a guess.
Ooh, Kirania. Who was hovering all the way down towards Tokyo initially, but now slowly moving further towards the north. Maybe didn't see the plate, I'm not quite sure. You said it was going to be north, it is going to be north. 270 kilometers separating the two, and it's not going to be enough for the win. Not going to be enough for the 3 points for Swan Gambit, but it's going to send Kirania down to just over 1200 HP. That's what it's called.
A very nice instant guess there. Definitely put a lot of pressure on Kirania. You could kind of see it because he was struggling with finding information there. Maybe couldn't really see that the upper plate was a bit longer.
What are you seeing here, though?
Houses.
Outside of houses and... I knew you were going to say that.
Houses, vegetation. We see the car.
A couple
manor,
of bricks.
obviously.
Maybe a cow there in the distance.
You know, I didn't really could see a good look of the car, but it seems like Portugal or Spain to me.
I mean, you have Kirania right on the border. So, he looks like
know which
he's
side.
agreeing. Nope, he's right in the middle. Let's see what Swan Gambit ups to do currently. Up by a couple points. A couple being 2,000. And, well, now it's not 2,000 anymore.
Yeah, both technically in the wrong country. As I said, it looked like Portugal, but something was off. Couldn't really place it in either country. So the border guess worked. As we see Indonesia here with the pole top, very flat. Now the question is, are we in Kalimantan or Sumatra?
That is to commit, where do you go?
Right now,
I
would just guess Sumatra.
Oh.
Yeah, that
seems like Swan Gambit does not agree with that. We'll see if he's going to be right, as it does go
I really
south.
like his guess, though. I really like his guess.
They're both going to be there.
Yeah,
Both going to be there. It is going to be there, but a bit further towards the west. So once again, Kirania closer. Again, limited range in between the two guesses here, but with the multipliers come through, now the scores are practically evened up as we head on into round number 9.
And we are in Germany. Would you look at that?
Denmark baited so hard in these rounds.
And it's very hard to tell where this is. This seems very north. I would go Hamburg. Judging by the houses, could be a bit further south, though.
Let's see. Both
Bremen
towards the
is
northwest.
also not bad.
Yeah. Both towards the Dutch border. 4 seconds for Kirania to micro adjust. He's going to go further towards the south. And oh, you can see in his face. He was up there. It might not have been, completely on point, but he was up there. Up to go south last second. And now, playing from behind into round 10. This is where it's all going to matter.
Another round 10. The question is there any room for Kirania this time to beat him? Because Swan Gambit was so close on the last round,
yeah.
Kirania couldn't even beat him. But on a round like this, I don't think that will be possible. And why does it look like Germany again? But we do have no...
Oh, sorry, continue.
I was just talking about how this round looks. It looks a bit like Germany. Didn't really see any car, though, which is weird. But judging by the houses, we are either in...
It's...
Yeah, I was thinking Bavaria here, or
yeah.
Baden-Württemberg.
I mean, the 400 points separating the two is what? It's a couple hundred meters distance with this multiplier. So, Swan Gambit, gotta make the guess of your life here in order, or at least just be closer than Kirania. I guess it's all really matters. Ooh! He's gonna be further. Oh wait, never mind. He's closer. Yep, there you go. He's gonna win it. Okay, I misread it for a second there. That could had it been the other way, that would have been almost tied in points.
Yeah.
Whew! Close one there between the two, but it's gonna be Swan Gambit out 2-0.
Well, and those were definitely not 3 points because Kirania goes home with 0 points, which is not good for him because he did need those points a lot to keep the dream alive of qualifying for APAC. A big dent in the road again is still possible, but that is the game as we see the other results coming in.
Yep, Trisha getting 2-0'd by Eamon. We will get a chance to see both these two guys play a little later today. Sixac got taken down by Pan. Okay, not I call it an upset, but definitely a little one at that. So we'll see now as we have Sixac Mana playing in just a moment if he can mental reset off of that loss, because we don't know exactly how it took place. Maybe some of you guys do, because you got to see that game on some of the other streams. But before we get into the next match with Sixac playing, we're gonna go to a short break. But then Mada is gonna take on Sixac.
Dear fans of GeoGuessr, it's time for us to explore the world. Come and support your favorite players as they fight it out in the virtual boxing ring. The prize? A ticket to the World Cup. This year's major locations are Japan, inside the iconic Tokyo Tower. United States at DreamHack Dallas, one of the largest gaming festivals in the world. And finally, Sweden at the newest gaming festival, Glitched, in Jönköping. Go to geoguessr.com/World Cup for more information. We will see you there.
I got a chance to see Blinky lift the trophy after that insane grand final. With 2025 right around the corner, I have an idea.
GeoGuessr 2025 World Cup? Denmark? Let me show you what Copenhagen has to offer. We have historic buildings, world-class dining. We got the best beer in the world. Presumably, I welcome you to Copenhagen and the KB Hall, the venue of the 2025 GeoGuessr World Cup Finals.
Let me try that one more time. First bracket of today's games have come to an end, and we're already now seeing some, if not upsets, then at least some really, really good performances. You know, that was the first forgot to unmute that I've done in years, and I'm so glad some of my other colleagues weren't here to see it, because I always give them a hard time when they mess it up, and this time around it was my turn. But you know what? The music has started, so I get to talk no more. I will throw it over to Siggy as he talks to us about these two next guys coming up, Marder versus Sixac.
Well, I hope I'm not muted because I want to say a few things about these two players. We did just see Malfunction win, and that means Marder and Malfunction are on the exact same points, both on 53, so right at the cutoff. So if Marder loses this, he's going to be at the same points again. But yeah, he's playing Sixac, not an easy opponent, but we just saw Pan taking down Sixac, and Pan is below Marder right now, so anything is possible. But we do see, even though there's 10 places between them, there's only 9 points between them. And if Marder wins this, he is jumping up 5 places above Krutzo. So would be a big win.
Definitely would. Look at how many, players from EMEA he would be surpassing. Clemens, Stefan, Trisha, up to Krutzo as well. Then you have Captain Lenley as well set up there. It's the EMEA bunch that's there in the second to left column, trying to make their way through, of course, to the EMEA regionals and then on to the World Championship. But here we go into match number 1. It is Move, and
Sixac
is playing Sixac. I mean, I get that he's doing a lot of NPC, but now he's winning. I think we have some technical issue. He would be moving. Or honestly, you know what? He would have guessed already had he not had issues, because he recently has been spamming guesses. I saw him stream the other day, and his title was 1,000 games in 1 day, question mark. I don't know if he actually got to that point, but if he did, that's pretty insane.
He probably did it. I mean, he did over like 3K games in 24 hours, so it might have taken him like 8 hours. And honestly,
he's full robot mode.
Yeah, he is a robot if it comes to that. I don't know how many games he's at, but he's at least like 50K or even more.
Yeah.
So
Marder is getting baited here by thinking, oh, wait, I'm playing Sixac. I get all this time to bring in my guess. I would imagine that he's aware that there's a bit of a technical issue, as he does get a pretty good guess, a nice qualified guess from Marder. You can see in his face a bit surprised that no guess came through on the other side. And I think, looking at Sixac's face, he's just waiting for the mods / admins / tournament operators to make sure that everything is working the way that it should. So we are gonna reset this game, I believe, and try and get it going once more, even if Marder had himself a pretty qualified guess here in the first round. But what do you see as the biggest strengths? Because I feel like we all know Sixac, and most people probably know Marder as well, but I don't know a lot of Marder's strengths. What do you see as some of his strengths here, Sixac?
I mean, his strengths is definitely the no moving mode. That, I think, his main mode, but he's also pretty decent at moving. But he is not that good in NPC, because I think if it goes to NPC, I think Sixac will have the upper hand by a lot. But before that, I think Marder is just head-to-head with him. But we see very different guess here.
Yeah.
Could not be a much bigger difference.
And you can see that the health bars have been reset to full 6,000. So now we are, in fact, live. This guess does count. We can now head on in to round number 2.
That was a very interesting start. 2 completely different guesses, and it was even further off. Both more than 1,000 kilometers away in the same country.
Ooh. Very far south. Down towards the very southern tip of Argentina here.
Yeah, it does seem like one of those southern towns. Rio Gallegos would make sense. The question is, can you really find information? Information in urban areas in Argentina is rare, but we do see a sign that says Rio Grande, and obviously Marder knows. But I think this is vibe guessable, so I would not be surprised if Sixac goes there as well.
Yep, he's in the same city. Oh, now looking further towards the north. Is he gonna change last second? Nope, not gonna happen. He is gonna commit to the guess, and for good reason. Staying down there. Could have potentially lined up a 10k for us, but neither of them cared to. So a good guess is coming through on both their parts, as a grand total of 2 damage goes Sixac's way.
Well, not quite sure if Sixac can recover from those, but we shall see. We do have another railroad. Train tracks, railroad.
We had a 10k last week due to train tracks. Maybe we'll get one more. Or maybe this one is a little too un-10kable given the time that they have to work with and the importance of getting ahead.
Well, there is no town names right now, but we do see a very good sign now. Beaufort West and Worcester. Worcester? Worcester? I don't know. Something like that. Every British bloke will definitely tell me I pronounced it wrong. As we see, both of them trying to find that 5k.
Yeah. Trying to line it up. Sixac, again, taking his time and guessing here. I would have thought that we would have been in round 6, at least, with the usual pace that Sixac says. Ooh.
Ooh.
I like this lineup from Mata a lot. Is there a gas station on the other side? I didn't quite see it. There might just be. It's gonna be close, but on the other side of the fence is where it is. So yet again, Mata on point, 3 rounds in, remaining flawless. But again, this is, I feel like, the usual pace when watching Sixac's games. Normally he would play faster, but he doesn't mind taking the early game damages when the multipliers aren't too high to really do a whole lot. What he's waiting for is the one slip up later down the line where he can then come back.
There is another railroad next to us.
It's the
I don't know. This has to be intentional at this point. We do see a sign to the Ödensee, and there is Bad Mittendorf. Never heard of that in my life. But any people from Bad Mittendorf, shout out.
We should have that habit. I know people aren't always too happy with giving up their locations and whatnot, but chatters, whenever it's in your country, let us know, you know? Let's share the global love, and maybe you get to find out other people in chat are from the country you're from. So any Austrians in chat, let it be heard. I know I'm always happy when we get Denmark rounds, because they're very few and far between. So share some love for your home country whenever you get a round in your country as well.
Speaking of home countries, Mara's in Italy, and he saw the sign and instantly zoomed in. And those towns are not far away. Those are 12 kilometers. Usually not that big. And he's like, yeah,
read me.
He's rubbing his hands. He knows.
He does indeed. Home country. Let's see if he gets a home turf advantage. He does indeed. Once again, on point. Multipliers helping me out now as 1800 damage goes the way of Sixac. Now set just over half health here at 3400.
Yeah, and we do see a similar game towards like the Kirania vs Swan Gambit. We do see a flawless right now, but
yeah,
high multis. Anything is possible. And speaking of instant guessing, it finally has happened on Russia.
Yep. Quick swing towards the very, very west for Sixac. Mata seems like he likes the guess just on the southern side of St. Petersburg. It's where he's going to commit. We'll see if they're both going to be on point. And indeed, they are. Mata closer once again. Not allowing the pressure that Sixac is trying to put on him to really have any impact.
Well, Sixac still has 4 rounds left, and the multipliers are at the highest in those rounds, so he shouldn't be too sad. As we see, town names there.
Rye Park. Or
Rye
RV Park?
Okay, probably RV, because I don't think there's any rhinos in Alaska. As we
What do you know about that? Have you ever been there?
No. And we see another Google car in the front.
Oh.
But we do have signs to Manly and Livengood. And seems like both of them found it. But will we see a Zigzag 5k in 2025? That is the biggest question.
Could be. Could be that he's trying to line it up. Fairbanks. Just down towards the south. It's not going to commit all the way there, but Mata on point once again. This is the thing. I mean, Sixac isn't even playing bad. But Mata is just, he's feeling it today. And he's not even wearing a football shirt. Maybe that's the thing. Whenever he goes AC Milan shirts, Italy shirts, whatever he wants to wear, it's not the buff that he needs it to be. He's changed the football hat as well on his avatar. Maybe it's full rebrand for Mata, and it's seeming to work out for him.
Yeah, we do see this car, which is common around Dublin, but has been expanding since last year. So it's not only found near Dublin now, but mostly it's there. As we see, Mata right there. But Sixac finally taking some points. About time.
Able to get them, even if just a few. 500 damage done towards Mata. He is now gonna try and maintain composure. We saw how quickly momentum can shift in the previous game, where even if Swan Gambit won, it was getting very close all of a sudden, as we now get into round number 9.
Yeah, and we have a town name there, Barbate. Never heard of that. But... Or is that even a town name? I'm not
I was
quite
gonna say,
sure.
are you sure it's a town name?
Yeah, because... Yeah, maybe not. La Línea de la Concepción.
That's not a town name either. I can tell you
That's
that
not
much.
a town name either, but we do see a lock by Sixac. I didn't see his side of the screen because Mada looked at all the signs.
Yep,
But-
southeast Spain. Down to, or is that not southeast, but east side Spain. See if Mada is going to join him to some extent, but a little further inland. And oh, it's going to be all the way down towards Gibraltar.
Yeah, we are very coastal there.
Oh, and it's
That's
going to be
game.
enough.
That didn't
Just-
look like a lot of damage, but
No.
it's massive.
Well, 5 times multipliers. It's going to be enough. We'll now see if Mada can maintain this one as he finds himself a 1-0 to kick things off.
Just wanted to add, Barbate was the town name. It's a coastal town down there. So definitely was possible to scan for it because we also had wind turbines, usually more found in coastal areas. But didn't really feel like all the way down there.
GG's in the chat for round number 1. As we get full mental reset here for round number 2. It's no move. And it's, as you said, I mean, where Mada feels at home. So let's see if we can make this one a 2-0. Having said that, Sixac does strike me as a pretty darn decent no-move player as well.
Yeah, I've played Mada a few times in competitive in no move, and I feel like I've had a much harder time in no move than an NPC. It definitely went like 50-50 probably with him. But he
Humble brag, humble brag.
That's like a 50-50. I mean, that's how you go with a lot of players. I mean, if you go towards the top, there's no way I'm beating RC 50% of the time.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not happening. But, you know, against some players, it's still possible for me, even though can't play that much. Pretty standard round 1 there. Don't really need to talk about that.
Central India. Both get it right. As we now head on in to round number 2.
And we do have the fork top, which is found around Osaka, I believe. But we do have another pole top there, which worries me a bit. Because that one almost looks like a Kyushu one, but Sixac agrees with me and does go Osaka. Now let's see if Mada follows suit. Looks like it.
Does indeed. He's going to go a little bit north side Osaka, but the distance in between them ain't far. So should be minimal damage. It's actually going to be a little bit further down towards the south. But both in and around the right area. Just 40 damage, or 42 make it, as we head on into round number 3.
This time the flawless is on the side of Sixac, but it only has been 2 rounds. As we get this round, we see an instant zoom into Slovenia. There's a meme where you see a random forest road in Europe. It's always Slovenia, and it kind of works for some reason.
Yeah.
And the funniest thing is both are in Slovenia.
There you go. Maybe it's not just the random forest road. Maybe there's a little more info to it. But what info they have available, I can't see. Because I do, as you said, just see a forest map. Mada. Ooh, a lot of praying, a lot of hoping that he's right with this one.
We do see Sixac switching up the gas from Slovenia. Let's see if it pays off. It's Romania.
Gonna be Romania, both of them off in the same region, country-wise, but off country in this one. As Mada continues to take damage. For all the OCD viewers out there, an even 5,700.
Yes, very even on both sides. 3 rounds gone and only 300 damage so far. But this time we are in a bigger country. We should be in the US here. A lot of sheep. I don't really know where you get that. And we have 2 very different guesses. We have an Arizona and a Wyoming. That is very far apart.
Definitely. Only 2.5 times multiplier. We'll see if it's going to have any impact or not. As Mada goes on the border, north side Colorado. See what's going to get with it. It's a state and a half apart between the 2 here. Could be big. And it will. Ooh, it's all the way in California. Okay, so off by a margin once again. And as I said, multiplier stacking only makes matters even worse. So Mada feeling the hurt on this one now as he sits down 40 or maybe 3,500 points behind.
That might have been the first time I saw sheep in California, if I'm being quite honest. I've never seen that, but this time we're not in California. We are in Brazil. We do have the sticker here, which is, I think, mostly Pernambuco, the yellow one. I think it was Pernambuco. At least that's where Sixac is as well. So can't be too wrong if he's going for that as well.
That's true.
Any multi-merchants in chat? I mean, there's always a possibility for one.
You never know. You never know just what's gonna happen. As Mana hovering further towards the west, but not really eyeing the opportunity to go there, or wanting to go there, I should say. It's gonna stay where he was, and it's gonna hurt because he did. So now, once again, even scores. I like to see it. Mata, of course, doesn't, because he's the one's trailing.
Yeah, he's exactly at 1/4 of his starting health, so 3/4 are gone. As we go into a melee round, we do have the black and white striped pole there. And is there anything readable here that could be helpful? I don't see it. It said something, but that was not a place name, I imagine. Now the question is, do you go mainland? Do you go Borneo?
Mata's looking to go Cebu. Here we'll see he's gonna confirm it. Or lock it in, I should say. Or whether he's not been Tulu. Jump 2 as well. Maybe trying to line up the water here. Is that what he's doing? There's a
I think he's trying to line up the grid. I quite like it. We do have a lamp here. So if it's Borneo, it should be Sarawak. And meanwhile, Sixac also on Borneo. And both of them in the same city as of right now. And it lines up from the grid. So could be.
Could very well be Mata. It's gonna log it in. Sixac, not too sure yet. Zooming out, but he's gonna stay there in the end. They're both gonna be the exact same spot and almost exact distance to the correct location, because it was, in fact, down towards Cebu. Mata was there earlier. Should have committed, but ends up not doing it.
Well, but Sixac still closer, even though it was just a kilometer.
Yeah.
He was closer. And
So is this Slovenia again?
No, because we have low cam.
So it can't just be any random forest.
No.
Ah,
The meta has to fit.
Fair enough.
First look at the metadata. No. And then we might look at the random forest road. But we also have outside lines. I don't think you would really get that in Slovenia. Now the question is, can Sixac close out the game here, or will we see a big swing towards Mata maybe?
Well, it's going southwest of Sendai. Mata is going way further towards the south, so it could very well be game. If not, Mata being closer, and he is, in fact, gonna be exactly that. So now, of course, round 7, big damage comes through. Sixac under half health, and you can see the frustration on his face. He wanted to maintain the lead. He wanted to make this a simple 1-1 into an NPC where he feels strong. But now, Mata is starting to claw back.
Yeah, we should have an pretty easy round here. We should be in Misiones in the Arch Panhandle, and we do see an instant zoom by Sixac. Very nice guess. But I feel like very easy round just with the red soil. And because Sixac thought of it and I thought of it, it should be there. Mata looking a bit confused. I'm getting a bit worried here.
Oh!
We see a Thailand or Cambodia. And
It's gonna be there! 17,000 kilometers off. Sixac, whew, despite a little frustration on his face in the previous round, is able to maintain his cool, get a quick guess in. Mata feels the hurt across the planet as we now go into an NPC.
Yeah, and I think under no pressure, Mata gets that round 10 out of 10 times. It's just if you get into those high stakes situations that you sometimes forget stuff like that. But Sixac was on top for most of the part of the game, so I think it's a deserved win.
Oh yeah.
As we go into an NPC, and I did say Sixac would be favored here, and I would still stand by that. But let's see how the game goes.
What makes them go towards Quebec here?
Don't think
I guess
anybody's in
Toronto
Quebec.
more so.
Yeah, so basically it feels like Quebec or Ontario, because also the Transformer is not facing the road and it's not 45-degree angle. So Ontario, Quebec is the most common. We do not see a Quebec sticker so I would just go Ontario as well. But I'm not very good at Canada.
See, Mata hovering up towards Ottawa. He's gonna log in. It is gonna be quite a bit further towards the west. Can't really fold them again. Limited info to go by. Both in the correct region. So they're gonna get locked in there. As Sixac, once again, gets back to an early game lead. Now we'll see if he can maintain it.
I mean, this should be a very quick zoom in by both. Instantly clicking Gabbaro in there. It's interesting because I did think Eswatini first, but could be Gaborone. But Maya's also eyeing Eswatini there, so I might not be alone.
He's way further towards the west than it is. Gonna be
just in the middle, as we are in South Africa.
Yeah, exactly.
It is.
Right in between, and now the score's pretty much aligned. So, mental reset on both parties. This game is as even as can be, as we once again head to Japan.
Another Japan round. We do have a pole top. I just can't quite see what type of pole top that is. It does not seem like a Kanto one, so it shouldn't be Tokyo. And it also doesn't feel like Kyushu, so somewhere in the middle. But now, Sixac switching to Tokyo. So maybe he's seeing it. As for Mada, pretty far west, pretty sizable difference between those two players. Locking it in first this time, this is quite unusual.
Yep, dangerous indeed. We'll see if he's going to be right about it or not. He's all the way down towards Osaka. Maybe even further towards Kobe. I can't make it out with him being zoomed out this far, but we are going to see a commitment from Sixac in the middle, and it's going to be right in between the two.
He switched from it. That was the first guess by Sixac, and he switched from it. Nagoya, he was in Nagoya twice, and then decided to switch to Tokyo there, and he's not going to be happy, but
mental reset.
Nothing lost really, just 100 points.
Mental reset, my mans. Let's see now if he's going to be able to take it home, as this one seems like a Taiwan plunk, and it's going to be, oh wow, on the very southern tip.
Very southern tip there. Would have been interesting to see the pole plate there, because the pole plate has a ladder on it, and the further south you go, the bigger it gets, so that would be like a Z or Y. As we go into this round,
Mars.
We are in Mars. The question is, are we in Spain Mars, or are we...
Ooh, that's a good question. Seems like they're both committing Spain Mars here, and I respect it. Because that's as good a guess as I would have had.
Yeah, seems like Mada's still thinking a bit, but doesn't seem like he will switch up his guess. Lets the time run out. Oh, wow. It's right in between.
Incredible guess by both of them. Out in the rule. South side of Zaragoza. As we now head on into round number 6. It's really, really close, this one. It's 1-1 scoreline. You really wouldn't have it any other way. As here we are in round number 6. Sixac instantly hovering Italy. Is this home field advantage for Mada?
Yeah, very interesting here. We have olive trees and red soil. Usually something you would see towards the boot. But it could also be something like Sardinia. But Mada will know better than me, so I will leave this round to Mada, but he can't talk to us. But he can talk to us through hovering the 5K. Thank you very much.
Mada usually is very good at communicating in the webcam when things go either really, really well or really, really wrong. So we'll see, based on his gesticulations, what's going to happen as Sixac goes for a swim, at least for a little while. It's going to hover out in the water. It's probably going to go back online. Yep, there. Oh, up. Nope. Swinging back and forth. Not fully committing. I really like the second
guess. I really like to guess near Bari, maybe southwest of Bari, really towards that boot, Apulia region. As we see Mada, 5 seconds.
Yep, not open the map yet. Now he's starting to zoom. He's going Turkey. This is going to be huge. We've seen Mada win in Turkey in rounds like these before. Is it going to be a point? No, it's not, and he loses it in his own home country. And that's going to be a huge hit come through. He's still alive, but wow, what a round.
Maybe that's why he didn't zoom in, because he wasn't sure of the country yet. I didn't really think of any other country just because of the poll. You do get them in Turkey from time to time, but I think overall it looked like more like Italy. But yeah, he's still alive though, so, and the multipliers are high. As we see, he's locking it in. He's like, okay, this is hard. This is very hard to reach, I guess. So he's just plonking it down.
His plonk is as good as any, so let's see if Sixac's going to get the better of it. He's a bit further down towards south now, starting to join up with him. They're actually really, really close to one another now. 600 health, that's what Mada has to work with, and he's going to be off on this one as well. I think that's going to be enough for Sixac. It will, in fact, be, and that's going to be the comeback. Mada up 1-0 early, but Sixac claws back and brings it into a 2-1 victory.
Yeah, pretty convincing performance there in no move and NPZ by Sixac there. You know, was slacking a bit in the moving, but in the no move and NPZ, you could really tell that the grind for Sixac has paid off. I mean, not much for Mada to do there. Although, you know, technically on the Italy, should have used this home advantage a bit more.
It's almost
easier said than done.
It ain't always as easy, exactly. Feels bad for him in this one for sure, and even more so, I should say, when it's his home country that ends up kind of being the dagger in the back. But it do be like that sometimes as we get this game to a finish. Now we going straight into the next one. It's Lero versus Trisha.
Yeah, no time to waste. We had a lot of rounds played, so we do see Trisha versus Lero. We do see Lero with a 58% win rate. Was off the radar a bit at the start of the league, but now is sitting in 10th place. Meanwhile, Trisha in that EMEA pack of people and is also trying to get out of that qualify for the EMEA major. But it's looking good. Meanwhile, Lero is 5 points behind Sixac. Wants to maybe be the highest ranked Australian player coming into the APAC regionals. But for now, he's in 10th place.
Yeah, one of the big things to stand out to me here is the average guessing time. Trisha likes to take his time, likes to, if possible, have it run all the way down to the end. Lero a lot quicker in his guesses, so we'll see if that's going to have any impact at all. Trisha, usually a player who I feel like can get thrown off by opponents trying to force him to guess quickly. We'll see what's going to happen here as the two men in each their void take on... Oh, there he is. Good morning.
There he is. Good morning. Good morning, Trisha.
There's Trisha. I've heard from chat, and this is only something I realized last time we cast the Trisha last week. I think it was me and GeoGuessr that casted him. Someone wrote in chat, when Trisha is really concentrated, like has a really tough round, like you can tell how concentrated it is whether he has his mouth open or not.
Yeah,
and I thought that's a weird comment. But then I started looking for it. I was like, huh, there might be something to it. So maybe that's a scale that we can work with based on how much under pressure Trisha feels.
I mean, somebody said he sometimes looks like he's playing GeoGuessr for the first time, being confused by every round, but it's just for him to lock in, and I mean, he locked in.
That's pretty locked in. That is as locked in as you gotta get him. Out in the middle of nowhere, Australia, and he gets a very, very good round underway.
Another home advantage, not used to the fullest degree.
True.
But we do go to America, to the great country of Canada.
Ah, yes.
Now the question is, what type of information is there? We are in a very urban environment, so there should be a lot of information available.
Ooh, big car. Big truck in front of Trisha. A lot of info on there. Rocky Mountain House. Lero. Maybe found a city name. I think he might have. He's lining up the road here as well. What do you have to work with?
That's a very interesting name.
Straight through the car.
Rocky Mountain House. That is a very, very cool name.
Goes down the street, didn't get the info he wanted, sets up a bit far to the north. Good thing for him is that it's early days in the game, so multipliers won't be too crucial. Still though, 1600 damage done in round 2.
Yeah, and Trisha making an animation there with his hand, basically saying, yeah, I'm throwing this round away. What was that? As we see, good signs here at the start. We do see state-specific signs. And we also have town names. So I am putting up high expectations here, but it's not a specific state sign. I think it could be either Massachusetts again or some other state has it well, but not too sure.
Let's see. A lot of info available, but it's the art of deciphering what info is actually important and what can you just kind of scroll by, because you can very quickly end up wasting way too much time looking at like storefronts and names for those, not really get anywhere with it.
Yeah, Trisha checking more and more plates here, is trying to get a better look at it, but we do see front plates, but he still decides to go West Virginia, which doesn't use fronts. And we see Lero getting the northeastern vibe, especially with the signs. Trisha seems a bit confused or maybe angry with himself. I don't know. Definitely not
waiting
happy
for that
with...
sniper. Thank you. I appreciate it. Siggy won't even say bless you when I sneeze.
Did you
just
sneeze?
like that. Toxic.
Maybe I was too locked in.
Toxic Siggy. As we now get into round number 4. Trisha playing from behind very early on here. Needs to get something going as Lero, once again, they want to try and apply pressure. We knew this was going to happen, that he was going to be the faster player of the two. As he's going to go central Bulgaria. Trisha is all the way up towards the border north, though.
Yeah, he does have the town names and he has a road number. Could be pretty good for him. Minimal points. But let me just say Gesundheit.
Thank you. A little late, but I respect it. A late Gesundheit is better than no Gesundheit, as they say. A very original saying, of course. As we get into round number 5. And, I hate that I cannot unsee this now. Trisha is starting slowly to get full focus mode going. Chat, you've ruined my brain. Why did
we
you
have
do
an
this
area
to me?
code for Lero, 91. It is Belém. Now the question is, how far does Trisha's mouth open here? Because he needs to get the city here. Just get Belém without an area code.
Yeah.
Nice.
A little off to the southeast, of course, with the health that he has available. It's dangerous to go too far off, but this time around, him readjusting gets him closer to the target. So it's going to keep him in the race as we get into round number 6.
And what a round it is. It does seem like Rwanda. Now the question is, does anyone know how to region guess Rwanda? Don't think so.
Well, Lero does.
Yeah, you click the capital. It's an educated
Maybe that's
guess.
just a qualified capital plunk. We'll see.
Yeah, we
A lot
do
of
say-
houses. There you
I
go.
mean, can't really blame him.
Not at all. Grand total of 42 damage comes Lero's way. Not sure he's gonna be too upset about that, but it is, of course, yet another round that Trisha gets to stay in. For Trisha, though, the eventual round 10 is drawing near, and he needs to do some damage soon if he wants to stay in this game.
Lero is taking his chances here, insta-sending on Poland. Pretty good decision, I would say. Trisha finds a sign I don't really see.
Ooh,
Whoa, that's very committed. Maybe he
East.
could read there.
could be. Hard East, it works out for him. He was actually looking to go even further south as well. Ends up kind of audibling out of it, but we asked for big damage to come through from Trisha. And just like that, he makes it happen.
Makes it happen, and now the game is as even as it gets, but we are in Australia again. But we do have a road number C234, and they should be ordered in Victoria. Or, wait, is it Tasmania? Okay, we do have Tasmanian possum guards, never mind. Now the question is, does Trisha know where you would find those road numbers? Looks like he found something, because he's very committed in the northwest.
Let's see. He's gonna commit up there. And oh
Whoa.
my, what a round. You can see him there. Pleased with the guess. And just like that, in 2 rounds, we requested some Trisha damage to come through. And he did way more than needed. Complete shutdown of Lero as he gets himself up 1-0.
I think that's a deserved one, because Lero definitely didn't play a moving game. He was just going for instant guesses there at the end, even though there was a road number in his home country. I would have expected him to maybe look for it a bit more, and well, his tactic in the end did not pay off. Sometimes it does pay off, but the Poland round and the Australia round was maybe a bit of a gamble too much. That was gambled a bit too much.
Indeed.
But
Indeed.
new game, new start, same health.
Until now.
And he's taking the lead again.
Yeah, well, I mean, for Trisha, that shouldn't be too terrifying, considering the fact that he just pulled off a 2-round comeback. So we'll see if Lero not only can get this lead, but maintain it all the way through till the end as well. He would want to. He would want to at least get some points off of this matchup, as he's trying to make sure that he makes it through to the APAC Regionals.
Yeah, let me just use the Swedish regional bins document real quick.
Yes.
Yeah, haven't really looked into that yet. There's one for Norway I know of. I don't know if there's one for Sweden. It's very chaotic though for Norway, so don't even look into it.
Well,
Do
they
they
didn't
even
need
need
it.
it?
Did not need it. Westeros close there too. 4 damage comes through. And, yeah, not too much to write home about. The flawless is taken away from Lero, but outside of that, not gonna complain about it at all.
Nope, but we are back in Colombia. I mentioned this pole paint a lot. Black and yellow, like the Wiz Khalifa song. Yellow plates as well, obviously. Now the question is, where do you guess? It does seem very dry, so you would probably go north. Cartagena, Barranquilla. Something like that.
You know, it's a tricky round when Lero is taking his time with it. Already 30 seconds gone. So we're drawing closer to the end of this one. Trisha has a city lined up. Nice jumping in between a few. I thought maybe he had crucial intel. But what do you, judge things based off of here? Is there enough foliage to make a committed guess? Ooh, Lero is hovering Colombia now.
Yeah, I think the foliage says more northern to me, but we do see Lero in the middle, kinda. Not going for any risky guess. I mean, he's in the lead.
Yeah. Not by much, but by enough. As I say that, though, now that might be down to nothing, as Trisha is able to net himself this round in Northern Colombia, and now finds himself ahead. On top of that, has the 1-0, so feeling comfortable.
Yeah, and that was even more possible because I did mention Cartagena and Barranquilla as like the 2 cities. Could have been like 2k points even, but now we are back in Mexico, I think. And we have some very interesting plans here. Or is it Brazil? Actually can't tell. Oh, we do have a reflector, that's usually Brazil. And we do have wind, like a wind farm, so we should be somewhat coastal, I imagine.
And Lero opting to go out towards the coast. Ooh, Trisha!
Wait.
North side Mexico, this could be huge. It will be huge, it will be Brazil, and it will be Lero out victorious in game number 2. Oh wow, smile on his face, a subtle one of that for Lero, as he is feeling very pleased about getting that round there. Now we go into an NPC.
Yeah, can't really blame him there. I also immediately thought Mexico just with these plants next to us, but then I saw the reflector. Still not an easy round. I don't know if I go Brazil there in the end, as we go into a pretty easy start in Kenya. We should be somewhere on this road. Both know the road.
What makes this road so unique?
The mountains, the single standing mountains, very dry. It's like the only road where you really get those lone big mountains. Not much.
Does every country have one of those very specific, unique countries? Or like, oh, not every, but almost every country have that one road that distinguishes itself so much from the rest of the coverage in the country? Or is it very unique to like only a handful of places? Because I know you have some of them in like Eastern Russia. There's one like in Canada as well. But how many of them are there? Ish.
Yeah, I mean, for Kenya, I feel like this is definitely one of those roads. There used to be even more distinct coverage when it was only Gen 3. As we see, both of them on the same road.
You didn't answer my question, Siggy.
Sorry, I was looking at the round too much. What was your question again? Sorry.
Just how... I spent 30 seconds asking your question. You just ignore me.
I think your question was so long. I was like, okay, what?
No, it's just how many of these very unique roads do you find? Like, it's just a handful, or do every country have them?
Every country has one, at least one.
Thank you. That's all you had to say. Would it make you look so much smarter?
You worded it so long that I was like, okay, sorry. I was looking at the round and I was thinking, okay, is it more north or south?
I mean, you started the round out by saying, yeah, they're on the same road, so it probably won't be too much damage anyway. So I figured that was going to give us time, given that it was round 1, to talk about it. But now we are going to go into round 2. It is an NPC. They are 1-1, so we should maybe focus on the matchup at hand. We can always podcast when if there's a tech delay or we go on a podcast somewhere. Sure. But let's see here. Both in Turkey. What are you thinking?
I also think Turkey, this pavement, very unique to Turkey, I would say. Don't really get that anywhere else. It's like cobblestone-ish pavement. Also, obviously, the houses and vegetation, but we do see a bit of a split here. More eastern guess by Lero, and we see a more central guess by Trisha. Not sure which one is right here.
Big difference in between the two. Lero is going to be close up. Trisha frustrated with that one, but again, saved by the fact that multipliers ain't too high, because this could have been GG later down the line. But he's going to stay alive. It's at just below 4k now as we go into round number 3.
Speaking of tough rounds, I mean, my instant thought was Portugal here.
Okay. What sent you there? Tree on the right side?
Could also see Spain or Portugal for me. I mean, it's Gen 2. There's not that many countries that have Gen 2 in Europe. Could still be Greece. On this.
We have Sardinia, I guess, by chat. Portugal guesses as well.
Yeah, Sardinia is definitely a possibility. That's also where you get a bit of more dry landscape for Italy standards. Now you have to really analyze the pavement here. So is this more Italian pavement? Is it more Spanish pavement? The pavement itself almost screams Spain to me.
Lero's hovering Mallorca.
I think he's hedging. I don't think.
Oh, could very well be. Could very well be. Yeah.
I think he's hedging want to hit Spain and Italy.
Makes sense. I like his commitment to staying on land. There's not a water hedge. He's got island hedging in between. We'll see if it's going to be right or wrong. It is going to be mainland down towards the south. Trisha's going to be closer. But same story here as I said in the previous round. Lucky for Lero this time around that this was not later in the matchup. A tricky one of that as we now get somewhat even scores into round 4.
Yeah, I really like the round here. We're not getting easy and we are in Indonesia, I feel like. Also not an easy round. Very hard to tell the vegetation here. And what is this road line, by the way? Why is the right side of the road so small? Doesn't really make sense to me.
Is it?
Isn't the right lane super narrow?
No, it's the same.
No.
Bro. Oh, you know what? You might be right that the guy put the center line a bit too far off to the right.
It just feels like somebody...
Yeah, I thought you were talking about the width of the white line. I was like, they're all the same width, but I get what you're saying. That someone showed up a bit too early for work on that day.
Yeah, somebody definitely had a bit too many beers the night before drawing this line.
Maybe the cars going uphill are just smaller in general. I'm not sure, but we're super lazy. Guess at least hover initially for Trisha looks towards Kalimantan as well, but now Sumac, he's all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't want to commit to anything.
Hard round.
Can't confirm in Lero. Wow. On point early on is going to be enough for game, and you know what? Oftentimes, you see Trisha's response be upset, frustrated that it didn't win it, but that one there, you can see it on his face now as well, go, you know what? Sometimes the opponent just gets an insane guess. And I feel like, we saw it with Spaghetti a couple of weeks ago where he literally sat back in his chair and started clapping at his opponents. I think this is Trisha's way of clapping his opponent going, you know what, bro? That was a sick guess. You can see he's still still bamboozled by the fact that Lero actually got such a good guess in there, because that was impressive.
Yeah, I feel like in those situations, they're like, can't even blame Lero for guessing that
exactly.
well. I mean, okay, what can I do? I mean, that's just an insane guess. Kudos to him, I guess. At least, can't really do that much there. Great guess by Lero. But pretty back and forth game, I would say, overall.
Definitely. Now, of course, remember, these guys playing the World League right now, they're all trying to qualify for, initially, the regional majors, but overall, the World Championship at the end of August. You can see it here. It's been announced a couple of months back. It's going to be in Copenhagen, my home city. I'm excited to welcome all of you guys here. I was going to say show you around, but there's a lot of people I have to show around. I don't think any tour buses are that big. But you can go in, you can get your tickets already now for the World Championship at GeoGuessr.com. And also, if you want to help increase the prize pool, you can subscribe here on Twitch. And then I know all of you are going to go, but what's in it for me? What do I get from subscribing? Well, you get to take part in the weekly raffles where a winner, a recent subscriber, will get themselves a goodie bag from GeoGuessr, which can contain shirts, hats, all kinds of cool stuff. So make sure to subscribe here on Twitch, and you might just have yourself a chance of coming out and winning. I can tell you that the winner of last week, I'm just going to read it out loud, Christian G004. So congratulations to you, buddy. Make sure that you have your Twitch chat or DMs open. I think you can't not have them open, but in any case, look into them, because the mods will reach out to you there for address, and they can ship you all the cool stuff, you know? It's just a good time to be a GeoGuessr fan. You give something, you get something in return. Good vibes all around.
Although he is German, so you should maybe say Christian.
Okay, sorry, bro, that just knows all of Twitch chat.
But another result, or two results coming in, and big ones.
Oh, he's already in chat. Christian, congrats, man.
Yeah.
I never see people actually reacting to winning. So there you go, buddy. Good on you.
Yeah, I saw him very early in the chat. He's always pretty early with it, even waiting the countdown. So definitely got to somebody who enjoys watching the World League, or at least watches it. But would you watch it if you don't enjoy it? Don't really think so,
I don't know what tangent you're heading out of now. I'm just gonna let you talk for the next 4 minutes and see where we end up going.
You know what? I want to talk about the two results that we just saw. We do see Pan taking on Kirania as well, so a pretty rough day for Kirania, and we said he needed those points today, and he went home with 0 points. And we also see Malfunction taking another win.
Yeah.
getting closer and closer to qualifying for EMEA. I mean, 2 big wins with big players against. She played Eamon and Sheena and won both. That is pretty impressive. As we see, she's moving up and now passes Mada.
Impressive play for sure. We get a look here at the big leaderboard as well. You can see now Malfunction finds herself in the EMEA major. If we were, of course, to end the whole thing right now, just exactly pushing Clement out. Now, I would not like to see that happen. Clement, please jump back in, my mans.
Clement,
I want some Danish representation in the regionals.
Clement locks in.
I mean, it's tricky. It's tricky. It's such a close competition. As you went over it in the pre-show, of course, talking about some of these players and how hard it's going to be with just a couple of weeks left to play.
Yes. And do you know who's next up? Which
Tell
player?
me.
I mean, maybe take a look in chat real quick.
You sound like you wanted to say it, so I'll want you to say it.
It is our boy from Germany. It is Lenley. I mean, the chat is already filled, even though the game hasn't even started. The only thing I can read is Lenley. And I have a quick announcement because he did write me a DM. He said, for the cast, please mention that these are the first games with my new PC, and hopefully I will not cope about moving. So,
well,
if Lenley loses moving games, he cannot cope about his PC being bad. He can still cope about German internet, but...
I was gonna say, that was gonna be my joke. New PC, German internet, I don't know. Maybe we'll see which is gonna impact the other. But congrats, Lenley, on getting yourself a new PC. I hope it works out for you. I hope you get yourself... I mean, for his sake at least, get yourself that 2-0 victory that you've talked about you never really are able to acquire. But of course, on the side of Anu, I also hope that he wins, because he once guessed Denmark in a round that was nowhere near Denmark, and I appreciated that. It felt good. So, oh, and also because he's a pretty good player. So I want the best player to win. That's what I'm always for. People always come to casters and go, who's your favorite team? Who's your favorite player? And I'm like, you know what? My favorite player is the ones to play the best on the day that I'm broadcasting. It's the best. It's just the best. If you want to attend, all right, over there. If you want to attend the EMEA regional finals, there you go. Siggy is getting in there as well. You can hop over to Glitched and get yourself a ticket. Not only that, but if you use the code GeoGuessr, you get 20% discount. So whether you want to be there one day or for the whole weekend of games, you get yourself a 20% off. If you want to come watch some of these phenomenal players play, well, again, there's no better place to be. We get so many regional tournaments. We get so many regionals where you can attend as a viewer. It's amazing for the esport that you guys get a chance to come out and watch these guys play. And it's just all good. But now, again, you can hear it, chat. Music's changed. We're about to get into game. So let's get this one going. And Siggy, I mean, not only are you the pro, but you're also the German fanboy. Talk to me about your main man, Lenley.
I mean, am I a fanboy? PC? Maybe at this point. Maybe I'm going with the flow here. Anu versus Lenley. Lenley, probably the favorite in this game, but he is playing 2 Japanese players back-to-back today. First off is Anu, second off is Sheena, which is going to be a bit harder, I think. But for the first game, looking at the stats, looking healthy for Lenley there. We also see in the table, Lenley's sitting at the exact 12th spot, and we did talk about that, because number 12 spot barely qualifies for the World Cup, but there's also regional majors which will impact the points, so you will want to be at least like 9th place, 8th place, at least, you know, to be safe before going into the majors without any, you know, pressure there. But without further ado, Toby, let's start this game.
And of course, with all the German viewers out there, yes, müssen wir diesen Spiel auf Deutsch kommentieren. So,
ja, können wir machen, auf jeden Fall. Wir sind in Alberta, hier mit dem Alberta Rollout, auf jeden Fall.
Deutschland ist ein großer Szene im GeoGuessr, so wir müssen nur in Deutsch sprechen. Also, that's probably the limit to what I can say in German, but it felt good for the first 10 seconds. I mean, but then I realized my German really isn't all that good, so here we go. I don't like how chat enjoyed it.
I understood everything, so
that's a good start.
Important thing. It doesn't really matter if you made any grammatical mistakes, if you understand it.
I do that all the time. That's my main gripe with German is that you have way too many weird ways of ending your sentences.
Well, speaking of German, Lenley, not sure where he is guessing right now. Very big spread between those two players, and we see Lenley moving further and further west as time progresses, but Anu on the correct road.
further and further west, but luckily for him, also closer and closer to the target. That's what happens. Now he has too many FPS. He's used to having to click like 3 times on the same spot for anything to happen, and now he's just yeeting it down the street. It's simply going too fast. There's too many FPS on his screen as we head into round number 2.
And we just saw the kilometer markers, and the kilometer number was over 2,000, so that's how you know.
Blurred street? That's
Yes.
toxic. There we go.
That is-
It got unblurred in the end.
Well, it did say Chilen, I think. Maybe that could be something, but we should be
Oh?
somewhere.
Oh?
Or Cullen, maybe?
Does he know? Is Lenley cooking?
I don't know. I didn't really see the name. But I would trust him.
Oh, I thought you said Kulin, which is literally what it says on Lenley's screen.
It said
That's what.
Chilen.
Ah, okay, I misheard
Maybe
it.
it
I
says
misheard it.
Cullen? I don't really know. But it seems like he lined something up. And he
I was
likes
gonna
his
say,
guess.
seems like a very committed guess. Anno is now gonna join him as well. He's gonna go further towards the north, though, on the other side of the bay. Condor is where he's headed, at least initially. Now hopping down towards Cullen, looking to go even further south, but nope, not gonna jump in the end. And it is gonna be Lenley on point with the 5K to kick things off. New PC, thank you. As we get Lenley going with a 5K in a moving game.
5,000 Punkte.
Sehr schön. Wunderbar für our deutscher Freund.
Yes, and we do see Bohol on a sign. What a sight there. Should be very easy to get the island here. I mean, Bohol is the island name. Now the question is, will you find the right city?
Wow.
Almost.
Oh, wait, I thought someone... Okay, I thought it said 25 meters in one of them, but they were both literally in the exact same spot. I thought there was a 5K in there, but no, not quite. Not quite. Didn't know we're not that lucky. As we now get into round number 4, but clearly fierce competition between these two, who are both trying to net as many points as possible off this game.
Yeah, Lenley already winning the 5K department here. Already won 5K under his belt in this game. We should be in Uruguay here with the long plates, rather than the short plates you would get in Argentina. Now, region guessing urban Uruguay, very, very hard, especially if you don't find information, and there's not a lot of information available in general. So I wouldn't be surprised if we just see vibe guess here from both players.
We'll see. Lenley still going up and down the street, hoping to maybe find a street sign, but at this point, kind of stuck in more of the homey neighborhood. No big signs, no big info. Just gonna go south side Uruguay down towards Montevideo.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he thinks it's one of the outskirts of the capital. But he switches to a pretty good spot there. It was just near the border.
Yeah, nice readjustment there in the end. Able to net a great total of 700 damage over towards Anno as he now regains his lead. Coming in to round number 5. We've had a lot of South America today, and now we're there once again.
Yeah, pretty quick zoom in here by Len. We do have the black car, and it looks like the Titicaca area. We do have some type of body of water to our south, so I quite like his guess. Locking it in. Do like it, but I think Anno will follow right there.
Yeah. The same body of water as well. Moho looking to go even further towards the north, practically side by side. These two guesses. Oh, I should have stayed down there. You can see Anno. I guess that's the most emotion we're going to get out of him because he was right on it. But opted to swing further north. In the end, it wouldn't have been too much damage regardless, but would have wanted to be a little bit closer.
Yeah, a bit closer here. As we move into Eastern Europe for a change. We spend a lot of time in South America.
That's true. Yeah.
But let's go back to the greatest continent of all time. Let's see if I baited anyone, but we had definitely in the east somewhere we did see some Slavic-ish language. As we see more language, there should be Czechia or Slovakia. And one of the signs seemed more SK with the border not matching it. And we do have the arrows inside of the signs, which means we're going to be in Slovakia as well. And we have a sign to Bratislava.
And you get 63 on that Bratislava as well, so maybe you can line up there. Ooh, already found the 63 as well. Has 541 to work with to Anno.
I think he found
He's
the off-road
cooking.
as well.
Yep, might have found the city he's in. Lenley doesn't have that same info available. He's in the same vicinity, though, so even if he's off, it's not going to be too much damage, but great scanning by Anno. once he found the 2 roads to line them up and find the city as well.
Yeah, definitely very thankful to get a road leading to the capital, so you definitely know where you're heading. As we go into a Germany round, for a change, will we see an instant guess by Anno to stop Lenley to get to a sign here? There might be a town entrance though, coming up. And he finds, what does it say? I couldn't read it, come on Lenley.
Flailing? Is that what it said? Ooh, he's way further down towards the south. I mean, Anno just going for a quick plunk, not wanting to give Lenley any time to figure out where exactly he is. And it is going to be down south. Nice vibe guess by Lenley with the home country buff.
I wouldn't really call it a vibe guess if he literally had a Landkreis there.
He knew exactly where it was. Nice Landkreis buff, I guess.
Yeah, gotta learn your Landkreise, then nothing can happen against German players. But you still need to know them, and there's a lot of them. So some decide to learn it, some don't. It's time. It's Italy. And we are getting a lot of urban areas here. We did see a very urban area in Uruguay, and now we're in Italy. And did Anu find a sign for Messina? Is the question.
Could be. If so, he might get himself a lot of points off of it. Lenley currently a bit further towards the north. And it is going to be down there once again. Anno, low HP to work with, but striking back as hard as he can. Setting things up almost even. Now coming in to round number 9.
Yeah, that could have been devastating for Lenley if he didn't go that far south. He could have been knocked out in one singular round. As we go into the Philippines again, Philippines is very good for finding information. If you find a storefront, it usually has the exact address on it. And that's what both people, or both players, will try to find here. But it seems like they're stuck in this neighborhood.
Yeah, some of these suburbs can be hard to maze your way out of, but just keep on going. So hopefully bigger streets are around the corner, but every time they go, they get off. Oh, Lenley actually able to escape.
Ooh, Aurora Quezon. Wait.
Pressure on Anno. There's a sign for him to work with Davao as well. Yep, there you go.
Good find there by Anno.
5 times multipliers. If they're in each their side of the city, that could potentially be enough damage to get the game ended. Let's see. Anno continues to go further towards the northwest, and he's going to go in the right direction. Nice readjustments from him. It's not going to be enough, obviously, to end it, but now he finds himself in the lead, coming in to round number 10. Now, again, just to reiterate, should this game end with neither of these players at 0, it's going to be the one that is at the lowest health that loses the game.
And we have another Philippines, so there's definitely potential for a 5k. Where Anno would just make the game clear here. Bagamanok seems to be the place name. Never heard of it personally. We scan small sign. We see them both looking at more storefronts. There has to be information for one of the players. Oh, very good sign for Lenley here. That will definitely have the information. I can't quite read it, but I trust him to know this. He's only found the town name.
Looking good. Anno hasn't even opened the map. You have 12 seconds left to work with. This could be game for Lenley. Finishing it off with a 5k would be impressive. Again, 5 seconds. Anno has no clue. It's going to be a Hail Mary. He might be on point, but no, I don't think that's going to be the case. We'll see now. Timer runs out. Lenley on point with a 5k. What a way to end a game of moving, which again, Lenley so rarely wins. But here, new PC, 5k to finish things off. Great start for Lenley.
New PC, new Lenley, and a win to celebrate it. And he enjoys some water.
Ja, sehr schön. Wunderbar.
Quick little placement there. I wonder how much paid there.
Oh, true.
That's a big placement.
Subtle product placement. I respect it.
The thing is, and every German will know that water. It's like the cheapest water possible.
And then the more expensive water is the Jawohl water. Yeah, that's when you upgrade it.
That was like a Ziggy type joke in 2022.
It's okay. I'm not German. I can make these jokes. I don't know what I'm talking about, so I can just yep.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Which summarizes effectively my entire casting career. So let's continue into this no-move game as we are in the US. But where, oh where? What are you thinking here, Ziggy?
If I had to make a qualified guess, I would probably be off. Some of these pines look like they're southern, but I don't know if we have front plates or not. Yeah, I kind of like Lenley's guess. Or, I mean, they're both very close to each other. One South Carolina, one Georgia. You see a very last-second switch. And somehow got the city.
It's something I forgot to ask about. Is Jahrwater mit oder ohne Gas?
Just both.
Oh, multi-water. I respect
But
it.
I will make a very controversial statement and say that water with gas is very bad.
What?
Like,
I agree. To some extent. There are certain times, whenever it's early morning after a late night out, where meat gas can actually be pretty delicious. But outside of that,
the thing is,
I would also always go ohne gas.
I just split the chat up.
There is definitely split opinions in chat. It's almost as if we have a pretty important game going, but now all we can debate is whether you want your water with or without bubbles. I respect it. I respect it.
Revoke Ziggy's German passport. Anyways, we are in India. We have Hindi language. We should somewhere be in the northwest. Let's focus on the game, guys. I mean, I think that's a pretty heated debate, and I know
it definitely is. We opened a can of worms that I did not, well, maybe a can of water, which I did not expect to be this opinionated. As Anu, he's hovering central India. He's gonna come into it. Oh, the frustration. He was over east. He was looking there for so long. He's still gonna win the round, but he knows that could have been a lot bigger. That is a very rare, very emotional reaction from Anu, actually.
Yeah. Maybe it's more emotional because he's already down 1-0.
Wait. We're back on Mars. But is it Spain Mars?
No, it's Chile Mars. We have
It's
the white
Chile
car.
Mars. Remove the road, add a little bit of red overlay to this image, and you cannot tell me this is not Mars.
Yes, and put Elon Musk car there.
Of course.
That as well.
All of them, yeah. Aber welche Mars?
Welche was?
Welche Mars? Der Chile Mars. Is it das Chile Mars? Der, die, again, German.
Der
Your
Mars.
language, man. Der Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah, das Mars is obviously a man. At least according to Roman gods. Yes. As we now continue with this one, Lenley is going to get the guess in first. Anu, still hovering in and around the desert. Where are we?
Anu is going further and further north as time progresses now. Going a bit further south again, and good switch.
Minimal damage for a round that took so long, but also very tricky pinpointing. Even, I mean, you have an open landscape. Maybe this is one of those. Was that very unique? As we now go to Japan, was that a very unique landscape? I mean, you talk about how there's certain roads that are always memorable. Would that be one of them?
No, not the road itself, but just the the missing vegetation, and it being just a very flat part. The very far north of Chile is also very, very dry, but has a bit of hills here and there, so you wouldn't really get a flat landscape, so you just go somewhere near Antofagasta. It's kind of area, as we see Lenley actually locking in the guess before Anu does in Japan. But we do see two very similar guesses.
Yeah, they're both down towards the southwest, and it's going to be Anu closer. Able to net himself a win in his home country. I mean, Lenley had a win in his home country before, so only fair that Anu gets one here as well. Damage, though, not as big as Anu would have perhaps hoped for. But still, able to maintain the lead, sitting now 1,700 points ahead of Lenley coming into round 5.
What am I looking at here? We do have a ladder here, so should place us in Russia. My first instinct was Sochi, because of these hills, they look very southern.
Very skiable.
It's maybe skiable, but my guess would have been Sochi, and that is where Anu is. So I quite like the guess. But the question is, where does Lenley go? And am I even correct? But if both agree with me, surely.
I like how chat is getting... chat is not allowed to say D, because Autobot goes, no, you cannot say die!
Oh, don't say that, guys.
German language is not allowed in chat. At least not Neutrum, or whatever it's called. As now, both of them again in and around Sochi, not gonna change their guesses, and it's gonna be Lenley closer, committed all the way down towards the shore. It's gonna be victorious in this round, but again, I mean, into round 5, and both these players still at a lot of health to work with. It's a close match, this one. Keep in mind, Anu is playing this one from behind, trying to make his way back.
And we are back in Chile, and this time we do have this dry landscape and the hill, so might see a very north guess here. My guess would have been almost at the border to Peru. Near Arica somewhere. But let's see where the players are going with this. Very busy road. Usually Chile roads are quite empty. But as we see, both of them zooming in quite north, but I would have gone even further north.
Well, effectively right back where they were in the previous Chile round. We'll see if they're gonna do as you, not to go further north, limited to practically no foliage at all. It's just desert, barren landscapes, but at least this time around you have more cars to work with, a few more poles to potentially identify something.
Let's see where it is. There's a quite sizable difference between the guesses here. Very far north by Anu and very... Oh, last second switch from Lenley to north. And
good for him.
Good switch.
Yeah, could have been much more costly. Could have potentially been game.
Yes.
Had he not opted to readjust there in the final second. But Anu, closer, able to maintain his lead here. Usually it's Lenley playing incredibly strong in no move and NPC, but right now it's Anu who's set ahead.
Yeah, the new PC doesn't really help a no move because it's only one panel, so can't really move between them.
But what a pan it is. Never has it been crisper.
That might be true. But we are back in the US, and we saw the last guess by Lenley in the US. He got the right state and pretty much the right area with Atlanta. But this time, as to where we are...
What are you vibe guessing?
No front plates. I'm going south. I'm going... northern Alabama.
Well, Lenley is there with you.
Also close by.
Each their side of Alabama. Some would consider it a sweet home, some might not. As Anu is slowly creeping further and further towards the east. I mean, they're effectively sat on top of one another right now, so both in agreement with this guess. We'll see if they're going to be correct, or if this could have been a round where one could have got more points. All of it was back in Arkansas, where Anu was just before. Still, though, he's going to come out victorious now as we head into round number 8. Oh, look at the wave from Anu. Lenley? You're not gonna wave back?
Oh, he waved.
Oh, wait, no, he started. Okay. Whoa. I'm not gonna cause beef. I misunderstood that one. No beef.
Yeah. That was slander. I saw his character waving.
I saw it in the end there as well. Sorry. We're too excited.
Had to defend my boy there real quick.
Yeah, of course. I respect it.
We do have a short antenna here, which is... Yeah, I know. Where are you
Chill, bro.
US?
Chill.
Which is... possible in Ukraine, and I quite like Ukraine with the landscape, but it's very common in Russia. But as of right now, both are agreeing with southwestern Ukraine, where the antenna is mostly found.
Yeah, down towards Odessa. There's Arno cooking. He's looking alongside this river, trying to see if there's something he can line up, but again, very limited info to go by. No big mountain ridges in the distance. Don't have a whole lot to work with, but he's going to commit here nonetheless, again, in the same area. But Lenley closer. It was all the way down to the shoreline. So 900 damage done, and crucially at that, it might not be too much, but for Lenley, he needs to claw back before that round 10, should it come to be.
And he does have 2 rounds left, and only 2,000 points to go, which I think is doable. Especially if you get a country like Norway. Don't know if that is readable there. Could be very helpful, though, if it is. Because the road system is numbered very nicely in Norway. Average Norway W. But so is Sweden, to be fair. Now the question is, how far north do you go? I can't really place this. It feels like the middle part. Maybe even more north than both guesses are right now. But that's just me.
Yeah. Hard to read Norway with a 5 times multiplier. It's dangerous territory to find yourselves in. Let's see who's gonna be better off? They're both scanning. You can just see how their maps are slowly creeping further up towards the north, almost simultaneously coming back down towards the south as well. Anu, though, not feeling the north. He's actually gonna move even further south, down towards Stavanger. Anu is still up there looking. Sorry, Lenley is going even further north side of Trondheim and is gonna be far towards the north. Lenley on point in this one and is gonna take the no-move game. 9 rounds in. There you have it. 2-0. And what a game for Lenley. Herrlichen Glückwunsch, Lenley. Wunderbar performance.
Weiter so, weiter so. Very nicely played by Lenley. We do see the glasses coming out. Interesting one. Square glasses here.
And of course for Anu as well. Gambit Anu. Valiant effort. Unfortunately for him, it wasn't to be. Lenley's new PC simply too strong. Check him PC. Well, you don't have to, because it's just that good.
Yeah, definitely the PC helped in the moving game. We just saw Lenley winning that moving game that he usually doesn't win. So new PC already a good investment because he made $50 of it.
There you go. Good money in the bag, but we're gonna now hop straight over to the next game because it's already begun. It's Kratzu versus Eamon, and would you look at that, into round 2. Eamon already locked in.
Yeah, we're loading into the game and we already hear a bing, and we have a crying emote by Eamon.
Oh no.
Maybe he saw something after he guessed, I don't know.
Maybe he read something after his guess and was like, oh no, 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 no. We'll see if that's going to be the case or not. Nah, it was still going to be a close guess. So, good job by him to get that on in. And even if damage came his way, it was minimal of that.
Yeah, couldn't really talk about this matchup coming in, but should be quite even. But I do have Kratzu favored in the moving game mode, and so far, it's holding up. As we go into Nigeria here with the bad camera quality. Looks quite northern with the vegetation. Could be something like Kano or Saria is the town name, I think. But we shall see.
Shall see indeed.
It says Kano State, so...
Yeah, that helps.
That is good. Kano State. Big highway as well, so maybe a lineup?
I was gonna say for Kratzu, surprised that it doesn't just commit Kano earlier, because Eamon hasn't even opened the map yet, and he's still stuck in this kind of back alley suburb area. So now he does commit to the guess.
Ooh. Almost came to the same sign.
Wrong continent, bro. He is gonna find Kano as well, though.
Yep. Also finds it pretty much the standard guess if you have a city in the north and it's shit cam. Am I allowed to say shit cam? Yes, I am.
I was gonna jump and done it, but now you did it twice, so now I don't even know anymore. You're clearly taking over the show at this point.
I think I'm allowed.
If it's in-game terminology and it's not really offending anyone, I think it's all right.
Okay, okay.
I think it's okay. But then again, that's just me. I'm not the one that hires you for these tournaments, so maybe they'll just never be reached out to again. We'll see.
Follow-up
just
question.
Like that, Siggy was cancelled. I mean,
is hoop cam worse than shit cam?
You know what? I think the best thing you can do in moments like these is just move on to the next topic. I think that's definitely smarter. So that's what I'm gonna do, and then take us into round number 4.
Round number 4 in Brazil. Don't have a terminology for this camera. It's just Gen 4, so nothing wrong with that one. I think we do have some sugarcane here, and we also have a 3-4 area code. 3-4, that should be Minas. So we do see Eamon scanning Minas, and he even is scanning in the west, so he might know the area code. But Kratzu finds it last second as well, and he knows it instantly. Crucial
last second catch by Kratzu. A little bit of a whew on his side as he was able to get it in the very last moment. 1200 damage done, rewarded to him for the last second find. Yeah, very interesting there. Eamon was in Uberlandia the whole time, and then last second was like, you know what? I'm not too sure on those area codes. I will edge a bit more, and it cost him a few points. Now the question is, does Kratzu know the province abbreviations for Thailand? Well, seems like Eamon at least had a pretty good hunch of where this one was going. Quick on the trigger once again. Gets the guess in. Kratzu hasn't really been threatened too hard by the quick plays of Eamon up until this point. We'll see if it's going to happen now. Spends the very last second to zoom in on Thailand. It's going to be closer once more. Yep. Another big chunk of points. Meanwhile, Kratzu, 14 points. Lost so far. Yeah. Gonna be pleased with that, even if it's not a flawless performance. still looks pretty good to him. As now we go into round number 6 and Urban once again. What are you thinking here, Siggy?
I'm thinking we're in Mexico, but now the question is who can find the better signage here, because urban areas in Mexico tend to have a lot of town names and abbreviations of states, so could find good information here. Off the bat, I would not know how to region guess, and I would just click CDMX.
When in doubt. When in doubt. There's only one place to go. Seems like Eamon is hovering there. No, actually going a bit further towards the south. Maybe Kratzer will join him. 15 seconds left to work with. Neither of these guys locking in just yet. Kratzer is going up towards Mexico City proper, but now going a bit further south as well. I mean, these two guys are practically in the exact same area.
Yeah, they're right on top of each other, but they're basically hovering around CDMX. Let's see where it ends up being. Ends up being east.
Bit off towards the east. A little smile on the face of Eamon. Not sure if that was related to their guesses coming in, but he's going to take a bit more damage even when he's close. Kratzer is just closer now. Sat at half health. Eamon is. Should get into round number 7.
Ooh, round number 7, and seems like we had a Sweden-Norway snow pole. The question is, which one of the two countries is it, and who can make a better region guess? Because I don't think they will find a sign here. This does not seem like a road that has a lot of things going on. This just seems like a road going to like a fishing hut at the end of it for 10 kilometers.
Or 100. We'll see. Well, Eamon found a house.
He is so far north. He is.
Don't think anyone's home. So, yeah, it's going to be tricky for him. Kratzer still yet to even open the map. He's praying, hoping that he's going to get crucial info by going down the street. But now reset back to his starting location. He's going to go further central in Norway. Not opting to go either north or south.
What a guess!
It's going to be northern Eamon!
Will that be enough to close the game in one guess? It is! What? I don't know what he saw there, but that was an incredible guess.
Check him, PC! Wow, what a guess!
I mean,
he found the 2 houses, and then he just knew.
Yeah.
There were people home that day.
I saw his guess and was like, whoa, that is very committed. How does he commit that far? Especially if he's down that many points. If he's wrong, he just loses the game, but
yeah,
he's right, and he wins.
Incredible. He's a gambling man, and he gets rewarded, as fair as can be. As now Kratzer trying to put pressure on. East side Slovakia is where he's going to go. Eamon is initially hovering towards Czechia. We'll see if he's going to commit.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Kratzer is even in the east of Slovakia. I do like committed guesses, but I mean, really goes to show that these guys know when to commit and when not to.
Good guess by Kratzer. Knew something. Went with his hunch. Got rewarded again as well. Of course, not to the same extent that Eamon did in the previous round, but yet again, Kratzer trying to put pressure on here. Usually it's been Eamon with the quicker guesses. But now it's Kratzer out ahead.
Yeah, very interesting there. Instantly guesses. There was not even 2 seconds of looking around. And it works out.
That is a lot of sets in one word. Is my recognition of the city name over there towards the east.
For you to try to pronounce that. I mean, I can't either. Like, there's no way, but...
Wait. You don't give me this in an NPC round.
Hold the phone.
I don't know about that poll.
Toby, I'm waiting.
Yeah. Oh, it is definitely. It's a for sale sign. EDB. Yeah, it's for sale. It's a for sale sign. That's Denmark. EDB. It's Ejendomsmægler. It's a real estate company. So you're definitely in Denmark. But where in Denmark we are is pretty darn hard to tell.
Bornholm?
Because we have.
Oh, wait. Eamon.
Guys, you don't do this to me. At least one of you get the country right. It is 100% them. I like Kratzer on Bornholm. Small island towards the southeast. Houses could actually be the case. If that's a very, very qualified guess by Kratzer.
Committed.
Yep, I like it. It's in Rønne, the biggest city on Bornholm.
Eamon says in Dublin.
Eamon is definitely in the wrong country. He could be helped by this being in Jutland, but it's gonna be there, and Kratzer gets it! The Bornholm commitment, and he's in the correct city as well and wins it because of it. People tell me Denmark doesn't matter. People tell me the small countries don't matter. But Kratzu just made him relevant.
Wow. I mean, getting the right city there on Bornholm. I don't know if I would have committed there ever, but...
That's incredible. I mean, the houses made so good sense. But I'm still gonna say, you could have put that, yes, in like 50 different Danish cities, and it would still make sense. So the fact that he committed and actually got it right is insanely well played by him.
Can't really blame him there. He also made a very committed
Any
game.
Bornholm representatives in the chat? That'd be kind of sick. Finally, you get a guess in your home city, maybe even.
I mean,
shout out to anyone from Bornholm.
Yeah. I mean, is there even more than one city on that island? The rest is just like villages.
Quite a few. That's quite a few. I mean, depending on what a city is, I guess, in terms of inhabitants. But then you can go say how many cities are there in Denmark.
Let's take a quick look at this round, because I don't think it's straightforward.
Oh, yes.
My first idea was southern Cambodia near the coast. And the second guess was... don't know. So...
I like it when you're not sure. Usually that means they aren't either. Kratzu currently hovering in the Gulf of Thailand, but he's going to commit further up towards the Cambodian shoreline. In the meantime, Ammon is further down towards the south in between.
And wow, that is a good hedge,
it's
you
just
know?
There. Yeah. 2,000 damage on a hedge. Not going to complain about that whatsoever. But you know what? That's the Bornholm buff going the way of Kratzu. As he's going to now make it into round number 2 of this NPC game. And is this one easier? Tell me what you're seeing here, Siggy.
Well, I'm seeing that the sun is in the north, which makes us southern hemisphere. So the only possibility really that I can think of is Argentina here. Now, as to where in Argentina, I am not qualified enough to comment on. Or let's say I don't want to comment.
Yeah.
Because I'm not good at Argentina.
That's fair enough. Well, Kratzu is locked in. Ammon is in the same vicinity. Seems like they know something that we might not, and indeed they do. Both very close to the target. Equal distance. It's not going to be a tie. It's going to be 3 points to Ammon, keeping Kratzu and flawless.
Yeah, Ammon needs to lock in. After missing Denmark there, you might need to coach him a bit.
That's what happens, man. You don't get to miss Denmark and come back from it. I'm just saying. I am, of course, kidding. It was a very tricky
Toxic
round. That one, so
Toby, hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, Twitter is burning as we speak.
Oh, what? What happened?
I don't know, you were toxic.
Oh, yeah, true. It happens.
First time.
It happens. Toxic Toby is reformed. He is retired. Kind Toby has come to be as we are in Japan. Round 3 here, and Kratzu getting down to the south side of Osaka. What are you thinking here?
There's nothing here that tells me anything. It looks vaguely southern, but that's it. Like, I couldn't tell you where this is. And them being in different places also makes sense. But even with a better hedge. Or guess, or no.
Good vibes. Gives him a good 600-point hit onto Kratzu. Stealing away the potential of the flawless. As we now go to Russia.
Yeah.
But where? What is it even?
It's 24 copyright. The question is the copyright updated in Russia or is it actually Kazakhstan?
Yeah.
It does make sense for Kazakhstan, but it could just be an updated copyright in Russia, so we will definitely see the game here. It's either where Ammon is or where Kratzu is.
All right in between.
Nope, not possible.
Nope, not gonna happen, and it's gonna be on point for Kratzu. 1.6 kilometers out. GG, well played. Kratzu able to take it home and net himself a 2-1 victory over Ammon.
And I just want to mention, he's in the right city again, in Kazakhstan.
Yes.
And that was not the capital or a big city like Almaty, that was a pretty small town. So he is committing today,
Incredible.
and every time he commits, he 5Ks. So I have to say, I quite like the gameplay by Kratzu today, and
yeah,
nice victory.
Playing strong. Playing strong, no doubt about it. The Rønne buff came to fruition as he netted himself the win in the end of it. Rare that Denmark actually ends up mattering. That was kind of hyped to see. So thank you for that one, Kratzu. As we now get a look at the matches that have taken place here. Swan Gambit, he won himself against Kirania 2-0, but then he was taken out 2-0 against Finbar. In the meantime, Pan netting himself the 3rd win of the day. The man has gotten, 8 points just today. Incredible playing by him. And then Ammani able to take out Ammani 2-1. We will, of course, see Ammani a little bit later in today's show as he will be taking on Marder. And then up next is going to be Sheena versus Lenley.
Oh boy.
Lenley, we saw him with a good PC, but we've also seen Sheena with some absolutely incredible guesses a couple of weeks back, and last week as well. Lost to Malfunction earlier today, but maybe he can take on Lenley and come up victorious. That's what we're going to find out in just a few, because before that, we're going to hop to a break.
Dear fans of GeoGuessr, it's time for us to explore the world. Come and support your favorite players as they fight it out in the virtual boxing ring. The prize? A ticket to the World Cup. This year's major locations are Japan, inside the iconic Tokyo Tower. United States at DreamHack Dallas, one of the largest gaming festivals in the world. And finally, Sweden at the newest gaming festival, Glitched, in Jönköping. Go to geoguessr.com/World Cup for more information. We will see you there.
I got a chance to see Blinky lift the trophy after that insane grand final. With 2025 right around the corner, I have an idea.
GeoGuessr 2025 World Cup. Denmark. Let me show you what Copenhagen has to offer. We have historic buildings. World-class dining. We got the best beer in the world. Presumably. I welcome you to Copenhagen and the KB Hall, the venue of the 2025 GeoGuessr World Cup Finals.
Here we go, back and ready for the last bracket of today's early games. I say that because there's, of course, even more games to be played later tonight. So if you feel like you haven't gotten enough GeoGuessr already, and if the next 2 matches you're going to see aren't enough, well, good for you, because there's twice the amount coming with later matches going your way. Siggy, how do you feel like today's games have gone so far? And you know, before I allow you to answer that question, I was just told like 3 seconds before we went on air to mention this, and now I forgot. But now I will do it, because as you can see up there, yes. I have my camera on the other side now. It's very confusing for me. You can get 15% off by signing up for, sorry, you know what I should do? I'm just going to read the ad because it makes so much more sense. For the GeoGuessr World Championship, we've partnered with Strawberry. For the World Championship weekend, you can stay at Quality Hotel Inn in Malmö, which is just across the water from Denmark, which is away from Copenhagen. The price is extremely valuable, and you'll get 15% discount for the whole stay. So bring friends, grab ticket to the World Championship, and stay at Quality View Hotel. There you go. There's a link you can find by hopping on over there, and make sure to use the code and you get the discount. Very convenient. If you want to see Malmö as well, it's a nice city. You can go there. If you just want to be in Copenhagen, you can go in Copenhagen as well. Both up for grabs. That's a good thing about being in Europe. You can just go from country to country as much as you see fit. Yeah. Not as easy when you live in other places in the world. No, just a quick train ticket across, but you hear that again. I think that's our key. Is playing. That's our key. That break is ending in 15 seconds, so we'll see if the viewers are going to be back in time for this hype game to get started, as we are now going to see Sheena take on Lenley. Yeah, we did see Sheena play earlier, and also Lenley. We did see Sheena losing against Malfunction, who had a phenomenal game. Meanwhile, Lenley took a pretty nice victory over Anu, and now he's playing another Japanese player. So let's see if Sheena can maybe revenge his teammate. As we see, if Sheena wins, he is passing Lenley in the standings. So definitely something on the line here. Both 144 matches. Quite nice. Big match coming up between 2 very qualified players. You see the stats here, and they are incredibly close. Lenley with the higher win percentage, Sheena with the better accuracy, and they're almost even in average time guessing. So expect to see a very close matchup between these 2 players. Yes, it's going to be very close. We do see the higher win rate on Lenley's screen, which is interesting because they are basically on the same amount of points. But Lenley just wins more of these matchups. It's all about the 2 O's versus the 2 1s. Exactly. I think, in this case. So we now get the game going. Lenley ready. Sheena ready. Round number 1 is upon us. I was about to say, get your GGs ready, but the chat is already filled with them. So yeah, exactly. Don't have to mention that one. As we move into the US for the first round, we do have the Southern Pines yet again. Those are the quite nice pines to region guess this country. Now, as to which state exactly, Toby, that's all you. Tell us. Yes. Tell us. I'm going to wait for like 21 seconds, and then I'll come with my prediction. Okay, so you don't want to spoiler the players with the. No, exactly. Okay. I think it would be too easy if I just instantly gave everyone the info. We'll want to see the players, try and see if they can find it first as well, which they're taking their time in doing. Of course, tricky round here, as Lenley is going to go towards the east coast. Sheena is on the north side of Florida, it seems like. No, or maybe up towards Georgia. Both in and around. It's going to be inside South Carolina. Lenley is on point. Good start. Quick sip. Also something I noticed a lot of players are doing, just taking a very little sip after every guess. Maybe it's just... Stay hydrated, man. Stay hydrated, but also maybe like a quick little reset. Yes, Yes? This is probably one of the best starting locations we've seen in a long time. I mean, you're in the middle of an intersection, and there's info on both sides. Yes, and 2 very big towns as well. Very close, close to the 1 round we had in the Sheena Malfunction game. So even more signs. Yeah, why not? So many signs in this intersection. Thank you, South Africa. If every place was like this, it would be so much easier to learn GeoGuessr. Yep. It would be easier. We see both of them scanning in the right town. Now it's just about who is making the lineup. Any 10Ks in the chat? Get them ready. Come on, I think Lenley is on. Get them ready. Sheena might have something here. Or maybe not. I'm not sure if it lines up directly, if it goes off a bit to the side. I think Lenley has it. No, I think Lenley has it. Might be on point. Sheena It's gone a bit further out on the side. Oh, he might have been hovering it there, and I think Lenley has it too. He does indeed. He started off the previous game with a 5k in round 2. He ended it with a 5k, and now he starts off this matchup with 1 yet again.
What a cold start by Lenley. Nice region guess in the US. And then the 5k in the next round, and it seems like we're back in the US. And we have a lake. Maybe 5k-able.
Could be.
Maybe.
It's not train tracks, so we'll see if Sheena can find it anyway. He doesn't have train track buff this round.
No train tracks here.
What are you thinking, state-wise?
I don't even want to mention my guesses because
you have to.
I'm so clueless here. I don't want to say it.
Hovering Northern Washington.
Very committed. Seems like both of them.
Sheena's up there as well.
We do have some mountains though that fits more for Eastern Washington near Idaho border, and that's kind of where Lenley is looking right now.
Yeah, pretty big body of water. Sheena zooming in, following the lake all the way up, trying to see if it lines up with the location he's currently in, but not liking what he's seeing so far. He's jumping around, knows that he hasn't found the right lake. He's gonna try and readjust, and it was all the way down in
Wyoming. Yellowstone National Park. And
unfortunate.
That is quite unfortunate.
Good for Lenley though, is that he gets to stay ahead for Sheena. Not so much down, 2,000 points now coming into round 4.
Yeah, still gathered some points in that round, but there was definitely more on the table. As we see another South Africa round here, this time they have to find the signs that are useful. They're not given to them. Although we have phone codes there, but not sure how familiar Sheena is with them. But it seems like he is somewhat familiar because he instantly zoomed into the map after looking at that sign. And landscape-wise, I like it.
Yeah. No commitments just yet. We have seen on rare occasion that Sheena goes for a quick guess, but I feel like it's only when he's really under pressure and he feels forced to change the pacing to try and get an upper hand against his opponent. But so far, not quite the case. He's gonna go down towards the south of South Africa. Again, no commitments just yet. Now Lenley is there to follow. He's gonna go further up towards the north. Distance in between the two. It's gonna be east.
Yeah, not too bad for Lenley here. He's gonna lose a few points, but could have been worse. Could have been worse for sure. I think Sheena's first guess was way closer, but he kind of opted to go a bit more west. Maybe be more safe.
It's a very small micro readjustments that when you do micro readjustments for 20 seconds, you just click, 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 and all of a sudden you're 200 kilometers away from where you started. So now, head into round number 5.
Also something GeoGuessr players really like to do is those micro adjustments. I don't know why, but it just feels good. In the last few seconds, just adjusting a bit.
It's like when you watch football and they have to throw the ball back in, and then they keep walking forward before they throw it. In the end, they're like 10 meters further up the field than where they actually started, which we all hate to see. But at least, one thing you like to see is the Avenue Estate, which is where Lenley currently finds himself, or at least it's about to be built. They're both, again, looking in and around the same area here.
Yeah, both looking in the Western Victoria region. That's kind of where you get dry coverage, but it's also like a few lone standing ridges. Kinda. But also Sheena looking in the east, but I think they're both very well in the west there. Yep.
Definitely. Very qualified guesses on both parties. As Lenley will come up victorious in that round, but it's not really gonna write off too much of Sheena's health. Still sat just over half, I mean a bit over half actually, of the health bar of his opponent.
And back in North America, we have the yellow line in the middle again. Now this time...
Snowmobile sign.
Snowmobile sign. That is very rare in the US, and we have it. I was about to say we have a Quebec bollard, but then he moved. Is it a Quebec bollard? Didn't really see it. But we will have more chances to hopefully see some meta.
We can go 50 miles per hour down this street, I'm a little terrified.
Oh, you can go 30, okay.
We're changing up the
But those were definitely French, and there's a Quebec number, 337.
Yeah.
Will we see a find here? Maybe.
Could be. How much time are you willing to spend on this, Lenley, for the few extra points? Also, how much more time are you willing to give Sheena if you feel like you're in the right area? They've gone down the same road, so they have the same info available. Sheena is a couple of clicks away from being in the exact same intersection there, but now they're literally on the same spot. They both have the same info available, and they both are in the same vicinity.
It seems like Lenley has found something because he's zooming more and more in, so yeah, pretty close guess. Might have been on the correct road.
Minimal damage once again, but Lenley maintains his lead. Sheena would want to even things out here. Of course, there's still a couple of rounds until that round 10 comes through, but want to get it even up, or maybe even get ahead, even before we get there.
Yep. And so far, the PC has definitely paid off, and we have this language. This is only found in Gujarat. I imagine it's just called Gujarati, but I'm not even sure about that. But we see...
What language do they speak in Gujarat? They speak Gujarati. There you go.
Okay, makes sense.
Good on
I
you.
like it.
Good on you. They're both going to be in and around the same city. Sheena this time going to be closer by 120 kilometers. So with the multipliers, 1,500 damage done, and just like that, the scoreboards are practically evened up as we now get into round number 8.
Yep, 3 rounds left to go, even playing field, and we're back in Philippines, I thought. Yes.
But-
I'll say Cebuana, but don't be fooled. That doesn't mean we're in Cebu. But there was a sign to Siquijor, which is a very small city, and Lenley skipped over that. So this could be very
Sheena
big.
is on teeny tiny island.
Yeah, that's the island name, Siquijor.
Yeah. I knew that.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
that's why I just said it.
Now Lenley is there as well. He's
he
committing
found
to
it.
it. Sheena, you have 12 seconds to second guess yourself. This is where I feel like Sheena usually becomes his own worst enemy.
I mean, I think you will still go for it.
Ooh.
Yes.
I clicks. Okay. Clicks, commits. Oh, a little bit out in the water. Goes back on. The micro readjustments there in the end almost got the better of him. But he will be closer this time around. And, well, he's not ahead yet, but the scores are as even as can be.
The funniest thing is he would have maybe been closer in the water, just east of the
Yeah.
coast.
Yeah, true, probably would have. But now, a round that could end it all, potentially at least. It's round 9, 5 times multipliers.
Pretty easy.
Even scoreboards. Oh, well, okay.
It's-
Sorry for trying to set up the hype. They just knew.
Yeah, this is a pretty easy city. Use no Sakhalin, Sky with mountains on both sides. I think Sheena will get it as well.
Fair enough. Oh, yeah.
Yes. Very recognizable ridge. Also the grid. Sorry to say it, but
close by.
these players
It's
are
okay,
too good.
it's
These
okay,
players are too
it's
good.
okay.
They're too good.
And then you know what? I love it. Ding!
Bing.
They're tied.
Last round.
And now, everyone, let us know in chat who you're cheering for. Round 10, and they are under 100 points apart. They could be so incredibly close. They could be 100 meters apart, and they could still determine the winner in this round.
Well, they do get a big country though again with US. So I think the 3rd US round and the 4th North America round in this seed. For better or for worse, let's see if anyone
Yeah.
can find anything. Ooh, adopt the highway signs are state specific, but that does not seem to have a symbol on it.
Both of these guys have played an incredible game. The fact that they're both sat above 3,500 into round 10 is really, really well done. A rare Sheena first, as he gets the guess in on the western side of North Carolina. Lenley, 5 seconds to go. Where are you going to go, my man? He's going to go down towards Alabama. It's going to be a massive difference in between them. Could be right in between. Is it going to be? Is it not? It is going to be up in North Carolina. And that's going to be Sheena out victorious, taking game number 1.
Yeah, Sheena folding his hands together there. Thankful for winning that game. I mean, as you said, we went into the last round with a difference of 100 points and both above 3k points.
Lenley left.
Uh,
I know it was a long game, Lenley, but it was only move.
okay.
You gotta play. Oh, there he is. Great. Welcome back.
Okay, he's
He had to
back.
get some more water. I think that was what it was.
Yeah, maybe.
He ran to the fridge. Yeah, ran to the fridge to get some more water. But here we are waving. Welcome back. Of course, Sheena doesn't know what happened on the other screen. As we now get into game 2.
And that means no more moving. But still hard rounds though, because we are in Indonesia here. Now the question is, who knows their roofs better?
Yeah, it's a good question. Who do you think?
You know what they say about blue roofs, right?
No, you have to answer the question you just asked. Who knows the roofs better, Lenley or Sheena?
I'd say Lenley. He's pretty good at Indonesia, and he also hangs out a lot with Kodiak, who's definitely one of the best in Indonesia. So
Roofineer.
Surely something has stuck in his mind. Manado is very committed. They do have the combination of sometimes tiled roofs. Wow, wait, we have
to Elysia here. They're way apart.
There's like 4,000 kilometers between these two guesses.
Yep.
It is round one, though.
For both parties that it's round one, so it's not. Oh, Sheena, hands off the mouse, going. I don't have anything better. He's gonna log in last second, and they're both gonna be off with the last second readjustment. Laughs come through. As awkward round happening there, but again, tricky one at that too.
Yeah, Lenley could have maybe gathered 1,000 points if he stayed in the place where he was. But decided last second to switch, and it just ended up being in a completely different place nobody even thought of. Now, we are in Australia, and there was like a green sign, and there's usually 2 letters on them, and it gives you the abbreviation of the next town on that road and the kilometers to it. So it's kind of helpful.
Okay.
As we see, there should be a T town 130 kilometers north.
Let's see. As you said, in and around the same area. Pack Saddle is where Sheena opted to go. He's going to be at least closest to the target here as he finds himself on point. But still, I mean, even when he is right, Lenley is right there next to him. These two guys are playing. We said coming into it was going to be a very close game, and it truly has been.
I mean, the first game was basically just coming down to one guess, and Sheena found a very good sign in the US. As we go into this round, I think Greece and Spain are possible, but Greece should be the standard guess here with the exposed mountain.
Gonna go. Both looking in around the same area northwest of Athens. Anything you can read on the blue box down there? I'm not quite sure, but doesn't matter. Time runs out, and it is in fact gonna be Greece, just a bit further down towards the south, but good guesses on both the parts.
Yeah, slow start. That only means that multipliers increase each round.
Oh, yeah.
And we're already at 2.5x. And so far, not really that much has happened as we go into Thailand here. Few hills here and there, but mostly flat.
West side Thailand, at least a hover for Sheena early on. Not fully committed to it just yet. What is he looking for here? Is it the mountains in the distance? Is it more like trees and foliage to region guess specifically? What are you thinking?
I think it's the mountains and the flatness. I really like more east. My guess was even max northeast, like Kalasin, but a bit committed. Maybe guessing the middle is a bit more reasonable.
Lenley is working his way, it seems like, further up towards the northeast, but not, as you said, fully committing all that way there. But there's definitely some distance in between the two guesses here. Sheena still committing towards the western side. Lenley is going to be the first one to log in, a bit further central than where Sheena is, and this is going to be even further out there. So Lenley, good on him to head in that direction, nets him a 2,000 damage hit onto Sheena.
Yeah, we see more and more how important Thailand is going to be in the future, just because it's very hard to just guess based off vibes. It just shows more and more. As we see this kilometer marker,
K364.
Yeah, usually that means we're 364 kilometers from the 0 stone in Manila. So you know the distance from Manila. It could be north and it can be south of it. So now you have to be like, okay, are we 300 kilometers south or are we 300 kilometers north?
Oh, they're gonna go on each their side. It seems like, at least. Sheena hasn't locked in yet. It could be a bait just because right on this road it goes south. These roads could bend and curve in so many different ways. He's gonna go further south, but it is gonna be up there. Stuck with his hunch. It's gonna be a decent size of damage as well, given how far off Lenley was. So, now finds himself in the lead by just around, or just under, I should say, 800 points.
Yeah, I mean, Lenley definitely was 300 kilometers away from Manila, but on the wrong side. Meanwhile, Sheena was basically in Manila, basically hedging the middle. But it worked out.
Sky Rifts. Sky Rifts.
Okay.
Shout out to Sixac. Taught me Sky Rifts on my second day of GeoGuessr, and it has stuck with me ever since. So good on him.
Until you get around with rifts in Senegal, and then Albania or Senegal.
I guess they can throw you off too, but I wouldn't, and they wouldn't either. Smart on them to commit here towards the center, a bit further up towards the north, but can't really complain too much about 2 guesses like that.
Nope. I mean, Albania will not decide this game, potentially. I mean, could always. But would you look at this?
Uh-oh. I mean, Sheena has lost a couple of Japan rounds as of late. We'll see if he can get this one here. There's a lot of info to go by. You don't have any direct reads on the polls. But Takamatsu, Sheena seems very committed. Instantly zooming in. Oh, with the lock in as well. A rare, not insta-lock, but quick there too from Sheena. Maybe he knows. Maybe he's cooking.
Who knows?
Ooh. It is going to be up there. Sheena near 1 kilometer out. Nothing you can do about it if you're Lenley. And that is going to be a 2-0 for Sheena, taking it home in his home country.
That is the Sheena I know, locking in the high multiplayer rounds. We just saw the win on US and then in his home country in Japan. I mean, what can Lenley do there really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one to end it on. But
also wild that we've had so many, I feel like, Germany rounds today, but none here in a matchup between these two, where Lenley, I think, would have really had an advantage having had any of those.
Yeah, he got one Germany round against Arno, I think, in the moving.
Yeah.
But yeah, not against Sheena, but you can't really expect to get a Germany round every single game.
True. Unfortunately, not if you're him, at least. You would want to have that in contract. It says I have to have at least one home country round every round. That would be kind of nice, but not the case. So Sheena able to get some much needed points as he tries to maintain his spot, or now maintain his spot inside the top 12. But that's that game rounded off and come to an end. We're going to go straight into the next one, and it's going to be Mada versus Ammani, the last match in our game slots here today. And well, we saw Mada earlier play. We haven't seen Ammani play, but we know that he lost to Ammani just before. So let's now see how this one's going to pan out.
Yeah, that's very interesting to me, because that means Ammani won the NMPZ game in his Ammani, and that is a hard feat. I don't know, every time I play Ammani in anything duels related in NMPZ, I just lose. So that's a pretty big win by Ammani. As we see the standings, Ammani needs to lock in for the final weeks to even have a chance of qualifying for the EMEA regionals.
Yeah. It's a tough race. Tough race up towards the top. And Ammani, well, he was set further down the leaderboard. He's trying to crawl his way back up. And hopefully for him, that's going to happen. As we do get this game underway. Very even, statistically, at least in terms of the guessing times. But as you can see, precision and win rate higher on the side of Mada.
Yep. Big stats difference in the precision. But does precision even matter if you lock in the important rounds towards the end? And wait, is that a new background, like with flags? Ammani didn't have flags in his background. And Toby?
Yeah, I was just going to say, there's something Denmark about this, isn't there?
Yes.
It could be. It very well could be.
Ah, the town entrance sign was definitely Denmark.
Okay, well, that helps. I did not see that, unfortunately.
Tormshus.
But here we have Sønderby. Was that what that sign said? I didn't see it in time, but of course.
I only saw Tormshus. Ah, we have
Tormshus. I don't even know where that is. And when I don't know where it is, usually it's West Side Fyn or in Jutland. But we'll see. That's exactly where they're both hovering. At least initially, a lot of water available towards the north here for Mada as he's going down to Lolland.
Yeah, we do have
That's at Stenløse, so we're way further north, but that's not going to be the case, I would imagine. It is going to be west side of Fyn. Okay, down towards Fåborg. Nice area, beautiful waters. If you ever spent the summer in Denmark, that's not a bad place to be. So, good guess for those. 2 Denmark rounds in one day. Thank you, Seed.
Thank you very much. I feel like every time I cast with you, I get more Denmark. But
yeah, you know what? That's true.
Maybe that's not real. We see Ammani not moving. He knows it's Alaska. Instantly guessing Alaska. Now the question is, can Mada follow suit? Or will he be confused by the insta-guessing? He does find the yellow plate, though. That is very good. That confirms Alaska. Wait. He's hedging.
Quick lock from Ammani. Happens because he knew something, and indeed he was on point. 3,000 damage done in round number 2. Massive hit onto Mada. As he's now gonna have to try and see if he can claw back. You know what else is massive? The brain on Ammani from Green so quickly on that. Yes.
True.
As
That
we now
was
get in
exactly
to
my answer.
round number 3.
That was exactly what I was thinking about. But yeah, to be fair, Mada was still in Alaska. He was just thinking about the coverage in the middle. There is some. As we see, St. Claude Hospital. Not quite sure where that one is, though.
I think Mada had a good sign there. Was that a state indicator? I don't know if it was.
Didn't
Green
look
told
like
it, or maybe
it.
it was just the road indicator. It looked like the shape of the state, but I'm not quite sure if it was the case or not.
I don't know if we're looking at the same sign, but I just saw. Wait, he found St. Claude.
Well, there you go. Ammani coming in strong to this one. After the defeat against Ammani earlier, he wants to get those points back. As Mada is now back where he started. Looking to go towards Chicago. We'll see if he's going to be right on this one or not. Nope, it is St. Cloud. It is in Minnesota. And Ammani is not giving him any chances whatsoever. Round 3, GG. Ammani out victorious.
That is not how I expected this game to go, but Ammani uses his strength in instant guessing. I don't know how he found that St. Claude one. That was impressive. But yeah, 3 rounds is all he needed. And one of them was Denmark.
I mean, when you're that locked in, that's pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. 2 rounds in a row, effectively taking Mada's entire health bar off him.
Yep, and now he also has the mental lead. I mean, if you lose like that in the first game, it's going to be hard to come back. Just mentally. But
let's see.
Nothing is impossible.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Mada still has a whole hell of a lot to play for. Could still be 2 points rewarded to him at the end of this matchup. So we'll see if he's going to be able to claw back into it. So we get going with an no move.
Yeah, let's start off in Russia. We should be in the south near Elista. Just judging by the landscape.
Flat, limited trees. Is that what sends you there? Or is there more to the landscape than meets the eye?
I think also the color of the grass. Because a lot of the coverage there was taken in the same time frame. So a lot of the grass just looks like that. Enter nerd emote.
No, that's fine. That's me. You know what? In rounds like these with limited info to go by, that is what all us plebs want. That extra little advantage against our opponents. As Mada is going to be the first one to log in. Ammani still maneuvering around, trying to see if he can find maybe the city name that he saw on that sign. Not going to happen. Mada, though, on the other hand, very much found it. Off to a good start here for him.
Yeah, nice little lineup there. You know, it doesn't really matter, but, you know, getting the right road is always cool, so... And it gave him 300 points, so... That means we stay in Russia. This time, though, in the winter, which usually means western. We have an antenna. That is very regional. It's either near Volgograd, Kursk, or near Rostov-on-Don. So these 3 areas are kind of the main ones you get. But again, definitely very niche.
Well, let's see if Mada can find it. Maneuvering around a bit in the end of the round there. As it's right on the border.
It's actually Belgorod. Okay. Well, I'm definitely not the guy to ask if it comes to anything Russia-related, really. Like,
Mada sure seems satisfied with that one. Is going to be able to set himself up almost 2,000 points into round 3. Now, off into this round. What are you seeing here?
We have a transformer facing the road. It seems like Canada, and facing the road means New Brunswick or British Columbia, and obviously it's not British Columbia because it's flat. So 8 points.
8 points, rip, flawless for Mada. I don't think he's gonna feel too hurt about that, though. Just wants to keep this one going. Wants to get up and get ahead. At least for now. Focus on this no-move game so he can get into an NPC.
Yeah, now I think not much will happen here because we do have Kenya. It looks western, and I think both will go somewhat west.
The Kenya round where everyone is complaining about the Steam player ad. Yep. Not this time. These 2 guys know better. Also should, of course, be said that you can right now get GeoGuessr on your wish list on Steam. You want to do that, it should be releasing any moment now. So if you want to play with your friends on Steam, hop on over and wish list GeoGuessr.
It will come out sometime in April.
Could be tomorrow. Could be in a month.
Is this tracker? Because this does not seem like a car.
Small car if it is. Money. Instantly hopping Paris. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
What are you thinking here?
Wasn't my initial guess. It feels more southern to me. But hey, I trust Ammani. If there's a weird round and he knows it, it's gotta be this.
We'll see if it's gonna be on point or not. Ammani. Oh, sorry, Mata was looking further south, and it was in fact gonna be further down towards the south. 3 times multiplier equals it out to 1500 damage done as Mata maintains his lead. Now, I mean, should this go into an NPC, you've already set up Ammani as a very, very comfortable NPC player. So we'll see if Mata can shake that up a bit. As we get around now with Ammani, thinking Florida, Georgia border.
Yeah, definitely US. We do have the Southern Pines yet again. We really get them a lot today. A lot of Southern rounds. Now, how to guess the South is very hard. Basically just vibes. And what vibes does Ammani have?
Good ones.
That's definitely a good guess.
Yep, down towards Tallahassee, evening out the score. Not completely, but at least to some extent. Mata looking into the camera even. Going, come on, man. You can't guess like that. There was nothing to go off of. But Ammani, he's locked in.
Definitely swinging back, finally. Almost felt like a very one-sided game. Now the question is, will we see anyone going Bolivia here, even though the signpost is not Bolivia?
Would you?
No.
Thought you're baiting once again. Just had to be sure. Just had to be sure. As Ammani is going to go up on the northern side, or quite far north, really, of Lima. See if he's going to be on point or not.
We have a Bolivia guess.
He is there. You baited him. You baited
I
Mata.
baited
He
him.
heard what you said.
Oh,
and he
no.
is going to be off in that one, too. 1,200 kilometers out. That's a GG and a 2-0 victory for Ammani.
Yeah, it almost felt like Mata is locking in for the
All
no-move
you.
game, but 2 very nice guesses back-to-back by Ammani. Not only getting Peru there, but also getting the northern side. Meanwhile, Mata took my bait.
What baited you into Peru? Or into Bolivia in that round?
The landscape felt very Bolivian, but then I saw we don't have a smudge in the sky, and the signpost was also wrong. So, yeah.
Playing
those two.
under pressure. Playing under pressure. It got the better of him, Mata. Not able to turn that one around again. I mean, Ammani, insane moving game 3 round victory, and then this one as well. I mean, off of a mistake of Mata, sure, but still, he was just solid all game long.
Yeah. Good
Which
enough
is wild
guesses
when when you consider the fact that he's pretty far down the leaderboard. It goes to show the level of competition when a guy playing like Ammani can fall like that. But we do, since this round was over so quickly, actually, haha, bless you with a 3rd game. Would you look at that, as Ammani is currently battling Kratzu. We'll get a read of what's happening here. It's currently full health, but I'm not sure. Is it round 1? No, it's directly into an NPC. Okay, here we go. Game number 3 is on the cards between these two.
What a treat to end of the day. A nice
Yeah.
NPC match, since we didn't get it in our previous match.
This is the post-credits scene. That's why you don't tune out too early, guys. That's
I
why
mean,
you stay.
you shouldn't, because there's an interview with a very
Also that. That's the
Good person.
post-credits scene.
true.
Yeah. Ammani, first one to log in east of Montreal. Kratzu looking up in that direction now as well.
Yep. Same area. And it would be...
I
Sorry.
DM'd Kratzu after the Denmark round earlier and say, bro, how did you know it was Bornholm? And he was like, bro, don't worry. I can teach you Denmark on stream if you want to. I felt offended, but also I laughed and he laughed as well. So Kratzu feeling it right now as we go into the next round. Also, we had a chance to talk to Ammani last week. Very humble, down-to-earth guy, super kind.
Yep.
Very happy to be representing Thailand in this tournament as the only player from there.
Yeah, and he could be pulling up some upsets today because he already beat Ammani earlier, which we just saw how Ammani played, so that's a big win. And he's also 1-1 against Kratzu right now. So
Definitely.
pulling something off here. Kratzu's not sure if it's UAE or Oman here. Is on the border. Or maybe it's a region guess.
Let's see, it's way further down towards the south. I feel like Oman, usually a country where the guys get very close. This time around, Not quite the case. A tricky location in this NPC round. Didn't get the info that they wanted. And now, full mental reset for the both of them. Coming into round 3.
And round 3 looks like a tricky one because I can't really make out the pole on the left side of the screen. There's one wooden pole in the middle. I do like the region gears like Poland, Slovakia with these mountains. I have Romania here. We will see if that's correct. Oh no. Ooh,
Oh.
it's in
Comes
Ukraine.
back up on the border. He's jumping back and around in France.
And see Kratzu's face. He's like,
wow.
wait, what?
That's
Like,
confusion. A confusion on Kratzu, a smile on the face on Ammani, and as he knows, he lived with the scare on that one. Rare that you get to have your opponent be in their home country and then get this far off too. So lucky for Ammani that didn't go different.
Interesting round. My instant thought was the Mexico-US border in Tamaulipas, so on the Mexico side, but pretty hard to really make a guess. I could even see Texas, but I really like border. Ooh, he's thinking of South Africa here.
Uh-oh,
Yep.
Kratzu. Uh-oh, don't bait us. He is gonna stay. Ups in the water, all the way down in the border now.
Yeah, I really like the border
See.
region.
Just a foot inside of Mexico, it seems like.
Oh.
He's just going to be over on the other side. He was there. You can see the smile on face, too. He knew he had it earlier. But again, the micro readjustments sent him out of it. But still, able to maintain his lead. Good thing for him that he did not go South Africa.
Ammani getting the right country and the right state, but Kratzu geographically closer to the location. As we go into another North America round, this time though it should be Canada, right? Because that says 80, and there's no way you drive 80 miles an hour here.
Does it say 80?
Like, I'm trying my hardest to read this, and it
I'm
says
reading
80.
40, but I'm not sure. I can't make it out. Of course, they have bigger... I mean, they only have their own POV to work with, so they should be able to at least make some more pixels out of what we see there in the distance. As they both do commit towards Ottawa, so it must be 80 since they're both there, you'd imagine.
Yeah, interesting. My immediate thought was more the plains, like Manitoba or Sask, and Kratzu
Yeah.
switches. I kind of like it. This
Hovering
could well
far
be
west.
the game. Could well be the game. I quite like the
Commits
plains.
to it. It is going to be all the way up in Alberta. Wow.
Nice switch there by Kratzu this time around. Missing his own home country there in the NMPZ game, but still pulls off the victory.
Wild game we got kind of tossed straight into the middle of, but Kratzu able to come out victorious, able to win both his games here today. Good performance by him in a tricky final location where, again, I mean, sometimes those last second readjustments get the better of you, and sometimes they win you games. So now we've seen both ends of that tale. But now, without further ado, let's hop over. Let's get an interview from our previous match winner. We have our dear and beloved guest, Ammani, joining us. Welcome, Ammani. Congratulations on the win here. First off, I want to ask you, man, you looked locked in that match. I mean, moving went your way, no move went your way. How did you feel during and after that game?
The moving seat was very favored for me because we had 2 US rounds with info that I recognized pretty quickly. So I was really happy with that, of course. And then the no move game, I mean, I kind of just ruled out Bolivia immediately because I thought the landscape and didn't really... I mean, it could have been there, but I didn't recognize it to be anywhere in Bolivia, so I just stuck with Peru there. So happy with that.
I want to ask you one more question here. Now, with the points that you've gotten today, there is still, I suppose, a race for you to be made for regionals, for the World Championship. How are you feeling coming into the last couple of weeks? Are you feeling, good momentum going your way, feeling hyped, or is the pressure on?
I was actually really disappointed with my loss against Ammani earlier because I feel like I really needed those points, especially when it's this close now in EMEA. But now that I got 3 points against Mada, I feel like I still have a chance with these last couple of weeks.
Yeah, definitely do. Siggy, any questions from you?
I mean, I have to ask, how did you feel after the 3 guesses in the moving game that you just won the game in 3 guesses? I mean, one of them was Denmark as well, so were you kind of surprised? Because
I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, the the Alaska rounds, like I've just seen a lot of rounds like around that region. So when I like spawned in, I just wanted to insta-send because I thought Mada wouldn't like immediately recognize it. So
And the
then
second one, I still don't know what you read there. Like, I was very surprised that you knew the exact time.
I read St. Cloud Hospital, and then at first I didn't really know for sure if it was a town, so I just moved around a bit further. Then I just started looking in Minnesota because of the plates, and then it was a pretty big town, so just sent it.
Nice one.
Well, incredible game for you, Ammani. And quickly before we let you go, I want to ask, I mean, looking back at how you started the World League to where you're playing now, obviously maybe not as far up the leaderboard that you would have wanted. Is there anything you're looking back at now that you feel like you've gotten better at as the World League has progressed? Or like anything where you feel like you've developed as a player?
I feel like I've gotten much better at moving. I mean, I also have a better like laptop now. Like I upgraded, so like it's
nice.
Much smoother. So that helps.
There we go. The new PC buffs are coming in across the board. First is Lenley, now Ammani is getting himself a new PC as well. Love to see it, man. Any final shout-outs you want to do to the fans and the viewers? There was a lot of support for you in chat today. And any shout-outs you want to do to say the people that are watching you try to make it way through?
I want to do a shout-out to Razak Court. That's all.
There you go. That's all we get. That's fair enough. Yep. That's fair enough. Well, thank you so much, Ammani, for joining us again. Congrats on the win, and hopefully for you, you'll string together some good matches here in the final couple of weeks.
Lock in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, man. That was Ammani. Pleasure to hear from him. Always down to earth, always humble. And today, I mean, outside of the Ammani game, fully locked in. Mada, really, I mean, even though his guesses weren't all too far off, he just stood no chance. They played so fast. I mean, Ammani, that there was nothing he could do.
Yeah, especially if you get US against Ammani, I feel like he's pretty well versed with it.
Yeah.
Knew the plates in the second US round and then instantly found the town name. Pretty well played. We also have one more result here, which is Finbar taking down Anu 2-0. Also a good day for Finbar, taking 6 points.
Definitely. I talked to Finbar last week, or the week before last week, and he said that his goal was to finish in the top 4 of the EMEA. And well, right now, he's surpassed Debre, so he's sat in third. Looking very, very good up there at 74 points. Of course, still quite a jump up to Constance and Blinky, but still sitting in that top 3. Very, very good for him. And then look towards these at-risk orders. Kent sat a couple of points out of Spaghetti. Ocean Man sat 2 points out of Orlando, 3 out of Genji. And then Clement and Pan tied. Ammani on the hunt with V89 out tied. It's a 3-way tie in the EMEA at 12th with 53 points.
Yeah, I think there can be like a lot can happen in the last week. I feel like Pan can overtake, Ammani can overtake still Malfunction Armada. I feel like Stefan has a lot of games to play still, so I think he's kind of low right now, but he will finish higher. But other than that, between Malfunction, Mada, Clement, Ammani, anything can really happen. And even V89 can still make it because he's also playing this evening. So I think looking at EMEA is the most interesting towards the end of the league. We'll definitely take a good look at it.
Definitely scary. But now let's take a look at the matches we're going to be seeing tonight. A lot of great ones at it. I mean, I don't even have to mention any names here. All these matches are going to be incredibly hype. So if you weren't aware, you can watch even more GeoGuessr tonight or this morning or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. It is going to start in almost exactly 4 hours from now. So plenty of amazing GeoGuessr coming your way later today. Are there any matches in particular that you're looking forward to here, Siggy?
I feel like Debre MK is just high quality matchup, but also they both like very funny personalities, I have to say. So I'm definitely looking forward to that game. Also, I feel like I kind of want to see Orlando because he has 3 very tough matchups. And we just saw he's so close just in front of Oceanman, and he's playing Blinky, Consus, and Captain back to back. So it's going to be a rough day possibly for Orlando. So I will definitely be taking a look at how Orlando fares with these matchups.
Oh, yes. And just to make sure real quick, there's going to be no Between Two Plunks show today between the shows. I simply have a full schedule after today's games. But fear not, my friends, my brethren. There will be more Between Two Plunks in the weeks to come, so do not worry. But not today. Having said that, make sure that you hop over on Steam if you haven't already seen the video where somebody gets wrong and adding everyone in chat. Yes, shames them for it. We all have to start somewhere. Calm down, chat. But make sure that you hop over on Steam and wishlist GeoGuessr, because you can play GeoGuessr on Steam now. Kind of cool, if you ask me. Make sure that you get over and get that going, because then the game will come out and you'll be alerted as to when it does. Outside of that, not a whole lot more happening on our broadcast here now. Siggy, any final words for you? I mean, you can talk about the 2 Denmark rounds. That's kind of cool. Anything else?
Yeah, I have to talk about the Denmark. It's always fun to get Denmark with you, but I was about to hold a big speech about how it's my last week, but I realized there's a week 21, so it's not even my final. I'm casting the very final week, so we do get to see each other one more time. But
yes, sir.
Other than that, it was fun, as always, and looking forward to the final week.
Same. It's going to be good. It's going to be exciting, and you guys all know where to be. Again, we're, of course, watching chat as these broadcasts go on, and you guys always out there supporting, throwing banter at us. Sometimes you're toxic. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. I can handle it. I can take it just because my guesses are bad. I mean, Siggy's a different story, but my guesses are decent. And it's nice to see you guys supporting, always being there to help out the new viewers. We love having you guys here, and we love to see that more and more people are joining the party. So thank you all so much for tuning in. And again, make sure to tune in exactly 4 hours from now. There's going to be even more GeoGuessr. Until then, go play the game. Get good.
True. Get better at GeoGuessr.
Dear fans of GeoGuessr, it's time for us to explore the world. Come and support your favorite players as they fight it out in the virtual boxing ring. The prize? A ticket to the World Cup. This year's major locations are Japan, inside the iconic Tokyo Tower. United States at DreamHack Dallas, one of the largest gaming festivals in the world. And finally, Sweden at the newest gaming festival, Glitched, in Jönköping. Go to geoguessr.com/World Cup for more information. We will see you there.
I got a chance to see Blinky lift the trophy after that insane grand final. With 2025 right around the corner, I have an idea.
GeoGuessr 2025 World Cup. Denmark. Let me show you what Copenhagen has to offer. We have historic buildings. World-class dining. We got the best beer in the world. Presumably. I welcome you to Copenhagen and the KB Hall, the venue of the 2025 GeoGuessr World Cup Finals.